Alors, reprenons tout simplement les quêtes qu'on a. C'est renseigné sur la réalité. Bon là, faut que je continue de discuter avec Joyce pour apprendre plus sur la réalité, mais je ne sais pas dire précisément du coup à quoi ça correspond. Parce que du coup, j'ai fait quasiment tous les dialogues avec elle. Ah ouais, du coup, des quêtes que j'ai un peu compliquées. On m'a dit c'est la journée où il y avait moins de quêtes possibles, mais bon, c'est pas grave. Qui est signé pour le crime, voilà, ça c'est fait. Du coup, ça, si trouver les clopes et les fumes, bon, ça on s'en brûle. Spiritueux, c'est la vie, du coup, pour 300 balles, je peux acheter spiritueux, ce qui paraît être une quête, donc ça paraît compliqué. Qui aura peut-être des informations. Donc, synchroniser, si nous aide avec Noé, on peut faire ça en se baladant. Trouver une arme à feu qui fonctionne et qui tire des balles de calibre 4,46. Ça, c'est assez compliqué, j'en ai aucune idée d'où trouver. Ensuite, ouvrez l'œil et armez-vous de patience. Bon, donc ça là-dessus, du coup, on n'a aucune idée pour l'arme pour l'instant. Qui me dit que vous devriez parler à l'ami dimanche, le fumeur au balcon doit savoir où il se trouve. Endosser la responsabilité. Déterminer de promener le tir, du coup, on doit examiner, c'est ça, l'île. Sauf qu'il y a encore une île à examiner. Et ça, pour examiner l'île, on va pas encore trouver le chemin d'accès pour ça. Chercher Ruby sur la côte. En lien avec le syndicat, les cryptogés prendront peut-être fin. Et confronter la poularde et récupérer son arme. Donc en gros, on a une quête à faire du coup à partir de 22 h. Donc actuellement, comme vous pouvez voir, du coup, j'ai repris la save, il est 17 h. Donc ce qu'on peut faire, c'est qu'on peut aller voir du coup notre pote le fumeur là je sais pas du terme, super ambiance. À la taverne là, enfin à l'auberge plutôt, parce qu'une taverne c'est pas vraiment ça. À l'auberge, on va pouvoir le voir, il nous attend là-bas. On va s'équiper de la lampe torche et donc du katana, voilà. C'est pas mon si on a un truc qui intériorise ou pas encore. Non, ça on pourrait commencer à réfléchir à dégager des trucs. Un truc qui baisse la... Pour chaque arbre cliqué, ça serait pas mal de le garder. Ouais, ce sera plus un de morale. C'est ça. À la limite, une superstar unique, ça, oublié. Je pense qu'on peut essayer de l'oublier. Confirmer. Et on va mettre ranger toutes les pièces. Donc voilà, ça du coup, ça évite qu'on perde trop de points de stats. Du coup, on a toujours un point de stats à mettre, du coup, potentiellement là-dedans. Donc à voir, du coup, ce qu'on a envie de mettre et ce dont on aura besoin par la suite. Et pour l'instant, continuons. Allons voir. Monsieur là-bas. Je peux voir aussi que dans mes stats, du coup, j'ai projection analytique -1. Lunettes XL de Superstar. Ouais, ça, les lunettes, à chaque fois, du coup, on perd des stats. Donc on va rester comme ça. Salut mon pote le fumeur. Ça va
Hi
tranquille?
again,
Ça dit
gendarme.
quoi?
Oh, a committee. And if I may ask, gendarme, what is this committee about?
He's all bemused skepticism. He doesn't actually care what you want with his friend.
Explique complètement ce que tu veux à ton ami.
Oh, a big
C'est ça.
secret committee. In any case, I would love to help.
C'est certain que j'attends
But the thing
voilà,
is, I
tu vois,
don't know
c'est trop.
where he is. We don't talk about everything, you see.
Oh,
He might have mentioned something about making a tour of some historical sites
des
up the
sites
coast.
historiques sur la côte.
In an unofficial capacity, of course. I guess you will. Bye-bye,
Bon, il y a un
gendarme.
truc de sang-froid à faire, mais sang-froid, je crois que je suis pas hyper bon, donc à partir de là, on peut regarder si on a des éléments en sang-froid, mais bon, je suppose que ça va être un truc un peu bizarre où ça va juste me dire que du coup, bah, la personne est homosexuelle. Et notre policier, du coup, va pas comprendre ce qui se passe. Sang-froid plus 1. 17, ça ferait passer genre à 26, un truc comme ça. 26, 25. S'il n'y a pas au moins deux autres sang-froid, ça sert à rien de toute façon. Et je crois que j'avais pas d'autres trucs en sang-froid. Non, ça là, ici on perd la sang-froid encore. Genre sang-froid ici, à la limite j'ai plus 2 en sang-froid. Esprit de corps, dramatique. Et mise en scène. Bon, c'est pas hyper intéressant non plus. Là-bas on a vu. Donc on a dit chercher sur la côte. Un truc historique, ça c'est mon pauvre pote René là. Mon pauvre pote qui a perdu René justement. Des sites historiques, je sais pas trop. Il nous dit qu'il va y avoir quoi d'autre aussi? Les amis partis se promener le long de la côte. Ça, le long de la côte. Et on a. Bah ça, la côte, ça je sais où elle est. Du coup, Madame Ruby. Confrontée à la poularde. La retrouver au vieux marché au poisson à 22 h. En fait, je crois qu'il y a la plupart des trucs, du coup, ça se passe de l'autre côté, on va dire. Parce que là, du coup, synchroniser les sinusoïdes. Pas les. Ouais, c'est sinusoïdes avec noïdes. Ce qui est très bizarre comme titre, mais bon, c'est pas grave. On va juste aller voir vite fait ici. Si par hasard il se cache, il traîne. Non. Allons remonter. On va remonter toute la côte de ce côté-là. Et si je pense que c'était pas la bonne. De toute façon, on a du temps à tuer. Donc à partir de là, que la polarde elle peut m'aider elle?
Hello again, officers.
Ouais, il dit rien de plus, c'est pas grave. Y'a rien ici, en contrebas, je suppose qu'il y a rien non plus. Ouais, ça y a la Joyce qui dit qu'il s'est barré et qu'elle s'est barrée, puis voilà. Et voir l'île aux pêcheurs. On peut parler aussi un peu avec Joyce. Entre temps, on va essayer de refaire le dialogue pour avoir du coup la dernière animation. Mais pour l'instant, ça avance pas grand chose de plus. Alors on va refaire la spéciale ici, ou du coup... Est-ce qu'on peut lui refaire la spéciale lui?
Hello again. How
Ah
can
non,
I help?
verrouillé. Non, j'ai rien dit. Je crois que je pouvais le faire, mais pas du tout. Excusez-moi pour ce petit détour. Et hop là, on doit traverser par là. Le long de la côte sur un site historique. Site historique, ça peut être le bunker en soi. Hein. Frérot, il peut être allé au bunker. Hein. Parce qu'on doit allonger la côte, donc à partir de là, ça c'est des trucs de merde cryptoïdes. Ça c'est la caisse qu'on a renversée nous-mêmes. Ici, il y a la petite cabane qui sert à rien. Est-ce que par hasard il serait là-dedans? Ouais, non, il y a personne là-dedans. Voilà, donc là, du coup, il y a la vieille mémé qui nous a foutu. Il y a Liliane à qui on se fait une petite balade. Et là-bas, du coup, il y a Joyce. Joyce, Toz. Salut Joyce, ça va tranquille?
You're back. Good. What can I help? More lessons in basic reality? A bird? Some sort of... Of course you're not, my dear. Of course.
Je peux poser une question.
Ask me anything. What
Qui êtes-vous?
They're made. Everyone wants to talk about themselves. She,
We're in Martin.
Ah oui, non, mais
Martinez,
ça j'ai
you
déjà
would be
fait, ça,
Revachol,
le...
a great
as if it's
history detective. They say by that we are standing on a... Speak for
a collection of
22...
silent. The water. There is no record. She observed. This is
Was there something...
This has been. Might I suggest?
C'est de prendre tous les
Absolutely.
dialogues que j'ai
Oh,
jamais
of
fait à
course.
Team. J'avoue que je
Indeed.
passe un peu rapidement.
I'm
Mais
always
bon,
at
c'est en
your
même temps,
service.
c'est le but du jeu. Parlez-moi encore de ce
The
monde.
camera
Est-ce
of
qu'il y a un
her mind.
truc?
Great body. There is
Ne
a
rien
term of
dire.
endearment they call Elysium. There are those who... A term of hatred. Oh. Great things are difficult. That's looking...
Oh,
Si c'était un
There's
ballon.
a steadily... Yes.
a cold fear. See,
They say I am... But this is one of... I don't know. But yes.
she does not seem convinced that you'll be fine.
You have misimagined... It's like the crowning of... But you're a...
Suddenly, the lieutenant observes you both silently.
Hmm.
He adjusts his glasses.
Êtes-vous, j'ai déjà fait. Dans quel temps vivons-nous déjà?
Unimportant. As I said, the mineral rights were all distributed during the revolution. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I
Okay.
mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective. Or the
Ces
remaining
aristocrates ayant
gentry.
survécu des bénéficiaires de
The
l'arrangement.
beneficiaries of the
révolutionnaire.
pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras or
Ah,
ultra-liberals.
libéraux, ok.
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
To foreign intervention. The coalition.
Coalition, ok, genre vraiment
Those
c'est une
people
désormais.
really took the mineral rights. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground.
Ah, pas que le sol, ok.
The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, the coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay, the armed center of the world. They landed here and
Débarquer au
ended the
milieu comme la
revolution.
révolution, c'était la seule
It
solution
was-
morale.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They
Encore une
believe in mineral
position de dans la
rights
tête.
and not shooting people, at least not in
Voilà.
the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of
Et
Revachol.
libère de Revachol et aussi
also-
du monde, c'est des sont
This
puissants.
is their zone of control. They emboldened the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. A devout man of the center. Hard to come by. It's good to have someone who takes a moderate approach to head shooting. In your line of work, I mean. The turn of the century revolution? The revolution began in '02 on the
Ok, alors
Isla
deux.
of Grad,
Ok.
though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Le monde entier qui a participé?
It
Oh, ouais.
wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
Qu'est-ce que c'est
It made people overthrow their governments. Indeed, Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue.
Ok.
The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
C'est quoi la
From
pandémie, c'est
Revachol
l'étendue?
and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end. Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts. A city-state of...
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct
Sur entrée à
41.
l'extérieur, l'officier L.
Chad Tilbrook.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of
Ah,
Revachol.
ok, après je dis si c'est
Of modernity. They did
51 minus 8 equals 43.
time flies. The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river level,
Ok.
offshore
Les
platforms in
plateformes,
flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the
Ah ouais.
international community's blessing. For the first time in a... No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash. An Isla... Welcome to reality.
From the looks of
Ouais,
it,
je
the
fais
50s haven't
quête.
been much better for the zone of control.
I've no right. We could have had so much more. Good question.
No, her first.
And I. So a quarter good hygiene. When they failed... and what is it?
There is curiosity.
Understandable. Why, of course. No. On the other hand,
No,
they are what... Anyway.
now's your chance. She won't maneuver her way out of this.
Arrivé à la tête de noyer Kedou.
And the
D'une
vilest
infamie
of the
sans nom.
vile.
Ah ouais.
A traitor. A devourer of nations. I am an ultra. An ultra-liberal. Yes. I can see you thought we'd gone extinct.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and
J'ai
self-set up.
dessiné
Forgive her,
d'orgueil.
but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Ouais, tout
Beneath
pareil.
her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately aware of.
Steal, kill, and destroy. That they say we've been doing for over 4 decades now. In any case, I'm glad we can remain collegial despite my scaly bulk. And my perverse need to infiltrate. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess.
Ok.
By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed. With due respect to our own...
An appropriate warning to those who'd cross the line and pull the city into madness.
I would not have... Then for my...
Dark orange flames reflect in her green
Un feu de
eyes.
ses yeux verts. Un feu de
An
pétrole
oil
sur l'océan.
fire on the ocean.
Perhaps...
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting... Yes.
Seditious talk, ma'am.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm glad to have been of assistance.
Hop là, du coup c'est bon, on a pu récupérer tous les points d'expérience chez elle, on a 2 points de talent à gratter. Spiritueux sa vie, est-ce que du coup je représente pour intérioriser ça? Mais ça je pense que ça pue la merde ça. Ça sent le bait de fou malade. Intellectuel, c'est l'apprentissage, je prends de 1, c'est l'apprentissage, je passe à 6. Pas grave, on va continuer comme ça, pardon, sinon je suis encore pas décalé. Bon, du coup, on a pu voir Joyce, on a pu finir de discuter de la réalité, donc ça c'est cool vis-à-vis de ça. Je vais faire un petit truc rapidos, la team. Ah, je peux refaire la
Yes.
logique avec lui? Bon, bah, logique, attends, logique, j'ai des trucs de fou là. J'ai ça. Voilà, plus 3 en logique.
Yes.
Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to Slight, Precinct 57. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late and argues with his necktie. You
Le
weren't
piste, c'est
sent
pas
here.
réussi pour
I've
gagner.
considered it. It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional. I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think, yes, both stations would prefer a win. I am the finest of nothing. Safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this
Vous avez
far.
vécu, vous avez atterri
Something has
ici,
brought you
dans le-
through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet. But so no, I don't...
He's right. There are no airtight theories.
Ouais, il m'a augmenté le moral, le cousin. Merci à lui. Maintenant, carte. Camion abandonné, il y a des trucs à faire au camion abandonné. Attends, on va y aller. Checker tout ça. Le abandonné, c'est celui qui est là en bas, on est d'accord. Pourquoi faire ici?
A lorry about the smell of... There's something odd about the passenger. Voila. A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps.
Oh,
Bonne prise.
je me dis en français, ok.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways there. Hundreds of thousands of motor carriages to Couron, through the middle-income neighborhoods there, by the river, and then to Stella Maris and La Delta for work, while the men and women of Jamrock scuttle to their fates below the road. This municipal map from the 30s
Années
displays a complex system
Oh,
of
aucune
storm
évacuation.
sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the fort. No storm will ever drown Revachol. The great solution to the final map displays a labyrinth of
Great
service
service.
tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels... These service tunnels were probably used during the construction of the foundation beneath the motorway. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East.
So it would seem. The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them. It's definitely not the Union. They just
Ouais,
do
il s'occupe
some
d'une partie logistique,
logistics.
c'est tout.
This operation has spread everywhere in Jamrock. If it's that widespread, then Madre remains his bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before, but they haven't ended.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is a...
It's definitely his bad news.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi...
Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet
obscur.
still vague enough. It doesn't the Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes. But really they're just violent gangs vying for control on the west side of Revachol. With cool names, like best not to disturb the scene.
The stack of maps looks just like before. Barely noticed. A metallic drawer slides out. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. You wedge up, but what sandpaper adds? The movie stars as you close the...
Donc c'était pas ça le camion abandonné du coup.
The woman is still...
Donc elle peut pas nous apporter grand chose. Et de pouvoir refaire des
A lorry stuck at the windows. Fumes of heavy fuel oil waft over.
Likely, yes.
The driver, a large man...
Le camion abandonné, c'était pas ça qu'il fallait faire. Moi je l'ai déjà fait. Lui il change pas son discours. Ah bah je devais passer de là aussi. Du coup je vais prendre un petit stack de heal et de...
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with...
Okay, here. Okay, here. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Hop là. Voilà, que ça va tout récupérer. Voilà, que ça du coup on a un bon stock. On va se faire plaisir. Donc... Trouver l'arme du crime, ça c'était là-bas de façon. Pas se promener le long de la côte, déterminer où promener le tir. Donc j'ai ça et ça à faire. Sachant que du coup, suite à ça... De l'arrière-cour. Difficile sur de la rhétorique. Rhétorique, pareil, je crois que je suis nul en rhétorique, non? Donc là j'ai 3 points en rhétorique, c'est peut-être pas le bon signe. À la limite la veste logique je peux garder. Rhétorique, je dois en avoir des petits trucs en rhétorique. Non. Ok, je crois que justement je n'avais pas de rhétorique. Je sais plus exactement. Électrochimie, projection analytique, logique. Instrument physique, clair-obscur, empathie, esprit de corps, frisson, rhétorique. Ouais. J'en ai un, ça va pas grand chose je pense. Hein. On peut aller voir le monsieur, mais bon. Ça on met ça parce que du coup, plus une perception gratos. On prend. Ouais, je préfère quand t'as la volonté plutôt que l'autre. A voir, je gagne juste un petit puntos en rhétorique. Je pense pas que ce soit suffisant, mais bon, on va aller le voir. Je crois qu'en plus, ça allait voir juste pour gratter de l'argent, non? Je me souviens plus.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Start with a...
Oh, okay. But
After all this mess, the broken seals, lying to you, come on.
an investment?
Or you could not make this about corruption and go with something even wilder.
Ha! That! You drive a hard... Sounds like a...
Corruption.
It's just like bus or...
Voilà. Pas de la corruption tout de suite, 10 balles c'est 10 balles quand même, on prend. Tout de suite à me traiter de corruptible, oh là 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 là. Les gens utilisent de grands mots comme ça pour pas grand chose quand même, hein. Franchement. Ils utilisent beaucoup de mots pour vraiment pas grand chose. Ça là-dessus je trouve ça un peu forcé. Porte barrée là-bas. J'ai déjà fait ça, non? Ça c'est légendaire. Sonnerie programmeuse, clair-obscur. Porte de l'église. Porte du conteneur du cargo. Ouais, mais ça c'est nul. Ça on s'en fout, ça n'y a rien dans le cargo. Alter. Oh, c'est des trucs légendaires. Trucs légendaires, c'est impossible, frère. Carte épinglée, ça du coup on a vu que vous pouvez pas le faire. René Arnaud il est mort. Gaston Martin, rétorique légendaire, bah force. Qui est bien abandonné, j'ai pas trop compris où c'était pour l'instant. Miroir en terrifiant. Beurre samarin, ça je sais pas ce que c'est. Mur de l'arrière-cour, impossible. En vrai, impossible, ça peut le faire, mais après conceptualisation, je crois que j'ai rien. Ça, on retourne voir le miroir rapidement, qu'est-ce que ça donne? Attends, en vrai, je vais aller voir là-bas. Carte, on va se TP. On doit à 22h, il faudra qu'on se retrouve ici, là, au village de pêcheurs. Je vais juste là-bas rapido, ce miroir.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it,
Encyclopédie.
such as it is.
Encyclopédie, j'ai des trucs, enfin j'ai des trucs, je sais que j'ai tout ça. De plus en encyclopédie, ce qui est vachement fort. Je sais pas, j'ai autre chose en encyclopédie. Esprit du corps, devoir transcender logique. Cours intérieur, électrochimie, projection analytique, logique. Clair obscur, empathie, esprit du corps, frisson, logique. Sang-froid, clair obscur, électrochimie, perception. Cours intérieur. Conceptualisation, instrument physique, art dramatique. Art dramatique encore, logique, et ça ne me donnera rien. Ok, du coup j'ai un petit 58.
You see the reflection of like the rest of you. It comes from.
En vrai, encyclopédie, je peux mettre un petit point. Et là, ça se tente.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see, it belongs in the new. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. But more importantly, disco happened. Forget about ostentatious orchestrations. For Revachol, your city,
Guillaume le
that
million.
meant only one
Je
thing.
veux mon midi.
Guillaume la million.
Nanani nanana. Pardon la team.
Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open-air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression. The click is sometimes you like to everyone. There is a vast ocean of time. You have some, not really. It doesn't have to be. You can swim.
Ok, donc ça c'est fait, ça c'est cool ça. Ça, du coup, on a pu finir avec le miroir. Ok. Là, du coup, moi j'ai toujours une tête de cadavre, mais bon, c'est pas grave, c'est le jeu. Ok, ça c'est fait. Du coup, faut aller. Faut aller à l'église, hein. Et on l'église. Petit banger tech.
You got a sync
With one day,
between you and me.
Yes.
Andre
Voilà.
is a cell. The one with the large head is.
Okay.
What he means is, you can't possibly have handed
C'est
them
seconde
this
que vous
real
l'avez
estate
remis
for
si c'est
such a
immobilier pour une
flimsy
raison
reason.
fictive.
Then again, whatever keeps your nose out of the bottle and on the job.
The crabman's been lurking here for a while. He's experienced things. Things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, the Ubies built this place about 320 years ago as a sarcophagus. Encasement, confinement, of something they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isla. I think that's what the crabman is experiencing when he climbs around upstairs. Like, this is some old world shit the Ubies had heard about. I thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church surrounding it to contain it. I don't know, and it's not something they properly understood either, what it does. But it'll be fruitless though. Seems to be the trend around here, doesn't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not like substance. Like a concentric ring spreading out, the struggling villages. And that is what caused the communards to fail in defending the beachhead. Yeah, a lot of, I don't know, maybe you can figure things out. It's a miracle of carpet. I don't say, I regret the time. Why? That's right, alone on.
He means
I would want it maybe. A cop with total, like that, like to your entire stand.
year after year, flake.
I don't. You mellow mass murder on the floor. There is.
The speed freak. What a caustic. That can't be healthy. What's happening here? But it isn't. And you shouldn't come back to this.
The mass murderer. Humanism.
And men.
She liked games. She invented. Then you meet in the true. No, likewise. The world's this Arno van Eyck. That's not the life that humans live. She was adored. Humans aren't. Fame is a false. Okay. Dead body. I saw some. They'd said end of
Comment ça, il me parle de cadavre?
Sarah, a free.
The way he.
But were you?
That's.
Well, Noid. I'm sorry. I only said Andre doesn't. Anodic.
You know what this.
Only a little. It's an assessment. The super.
Forget it.
Sure.
André, c'est vrai qu'il y avait un truc à faire avec lui. Qui disait hop, la petite sauvegarde automatique, on prend la team.
man. It's good to see you.
Mise en scène. Ah ouais, non mais ouais, c'est impossible ça. Ok. Mise en scène, je peux pas danser comme lui, hein. Elle disait quoi? Elle disait un truc ou pas?
Yes, what is it?
Bon. Ouais, bon, c'est tranquille la madame. Si on a allongé la côte pour aller voir. S'il n'y a pas notre ami le syndicat là. Pas le syndicat, plutôt on va dire le haut fonctionnaire. Moi ce qui perturbe c'est le fait que le bunker, il y a forcément un truc qui doit se passer dedans. Forcément, frère.
An old door, worn by elements.
It's military. The washerwoman mentioned a depot. From here.
On dirait c'est pas ça. Donc on doit le retrouver l'autre sur la côte, mais je sais pas où c'est précisément. Il dit qu'il était sur la côte. Il serait pas tout au nord. Non, il serait pas là du coup à flâner parce qu'on est déjà allé du coup avec une autre madame. Pas très logique qu'il soit pas deux fois au même endroit. Est-ce qu'on va pouvoir le trouver? Il est pas là au fond à gauche. Là en dessous ça sert à rien parce que du coup c'est un cul-de-sac. Est-ce qu'il est sur la glace à droite? Je sors de l'église. Ah non, faut passer par derrière l'église. Ça y est pas là, on est d'accord, hein. Le jeu est sombre comme ça, j'ai l'impression. Parce que j'ai trop dézoomé peut-être. Et le jeu du coup, dès que je vois trop de choses, du coup il m'a fait se dézoomer. Peut-être en vrai. Là-bas c'est le bateau de l'autre madame là, madame riche, la ultra-libéraliste. Là-bas il y a une cabine téléphonique, mais je crois qu'on m'a appelé un numéro au pif, mais hormis ça sans plus. Est-ce que là-bas on avait trouvé un cadavre? Il y a un plus? Non, personne ne s'est affiché en plus. Truc à voir là? Arrêtez des deux et pièces, accrochez-vous à quelque chose, le vent souffle fort. Ok. Pas au max les informations qui ont été données. Ça c'est le truc où si on descend en dessous du coup on arrive dans la... Pas dire dans la dernière zone du jeu, ce serait un peu gros de dire ça comme ça. Mais au moins on va continuer de chercher Ruby. Après en soi est-ce que chercher Ruby ça peut pas prendre des heures? En même temps, vu que j'ai l'histoire du pistolet que je dois faire entre 22h et 2h du matin, je me dis que j'ai quand même bien envie d'avoir mon pistolet avant d'y aller quoi. Même pour faire semblant. Je suppose avoir une histoire de jet etc. sur le fait de faire semblant de tirer au pistolet. Nanani nanana, tout ça quoi. Et sinon en dehors de ça, je sais pas beaucoup plus. Là-bas généralement il y a rien, mais ah il est là, il est caché. Mais c'est aussi que là ici il y a une trop grosse zone pour pas qu'il y ait rien.
The man turns and greets you with a... He appears completely...
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run. What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast? My friend, if it's la responsabilité you're after, I have good news.
God, of course it does. These moral
Ah ouais,
intern
moral
types.
The
interne, ouais,
comité
c'est
de
ça.
responsabilité de Revachol. It acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they are the ultimate arbiters of la responsabilité in this part of the world.
Hop là, vous devez pas voir ça, vous. Pardon, excusez-moi.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're looking for.
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not actually in Martinez.
What?
Oh, salaud.
Where is he then? He's speaking figuratively. He means he's not in Martinez in his official capacity.
Précisément. Officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on fuel oil derivatives. That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in. I don't mean to discourage you, of course. Just to say that it won't be...
Not exactly a model of accessible and accountable governance.
But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer. You see, in addition to being an airborne artillery platform, Coalition Warship Archer is also the linchpin of the Coalition's surveillance and communications infrastructure in Revachol.
Mais du coup, il nous surveille.
And listening. It has the most objective vantage point in the entire city. Not to mention a vast array of radio, photographic, and meteorological monitors. I find it a great comfort to know there are benevolent powers.
The Bristol Moon Conventions are a series of international agreements governing the...
This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any unidentified aerostatics that might approach it, so it might be safer to get in touch from the ground. But in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on coalition frequencies. And that kind of technology naturally isn't typically available for non-coalition use.
C'est dur, frère.
I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno-tinkerers to do it. Unauthorized circuit bending is a very serious matter with grave security implications. But as of the moment, there is no specific law forbidding it. In Revachol, at least.
Ouais, le mec il joue trop sur les mots là, c'est vraiment les connards d'avocats, les connards de mecs de droite là. On les connaît bien ceux-là. Hein. Les mecs sont là à jouer sur les mots H24 de A à Z. Enfin bref, l'air de dire un classique quoi.
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in the RCM. I'm sure you'll figure something out. And then, well, I had some extra time on my hands, so I decided to stroll down here. Yes. There's nothing like a stroll along the coast to lift one's spirits. Really? Here? How can you be sure? Ah? Is that what those pockmarks are? I might have guessed. Fascinating how much history is contained right here.
Are you just going to let him get away with these generalities and euphemisms?
Well said. Let us just be grateful that we don't live in such fascinating... Ah bon? I'm all ears, officer. Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the RC.
Ok, c'est fini comme ça. Il dit quoi sur sa responsabilité? Truquer les capacités requises pour contacter la coalition. Bah ça c'est notre pote... pote Sun Long là. On va continuer de faire ça. 19h, j'ai encore 3 heures devant moi, mais en même temps je réfléchissais, du coup j'hésitais à aller avancer dans la quête principale. Pour voir du coup si on arrive à retrouver Ruby. On va aller voir l'église rapidement. Voir l'église rapidement, enfin je suppose que c'est elle. C'est soit elle ou sinon c'est Kim avec son magasin. Je pense que c'est elle logiquement. On a quelqu'un de fabriquer une sorte de radio, etc. ou de contacter des ondes radio. En plus, on retrouve dans l'église petit son banger.
Yes, what is it? You're asking me to circuit bend onto coalition radio frequencies. You want to know is it possible? Probably. But is it a good idea? I'm not so sure. The main difficulty will be finding an antenna powerful enough to reach those frequencies. Unfortunately, you can...
She's not joking. Even the RCM has to receive special approval from the Coalition to access that kind of equipment.
I highly doubt it. That tower is barely able to transmit shortwave signals across the bay.
She has an idea, though. You can see the time.
I don't see any alternative. We're just going to have to build the antenna ourselves. Yes, from a technical view. It's not even difficult. The difficult part, we need metal, a lot of it. The taller the structure, the better. Something that is both prominent and easily accessible. If it's near a power source, even better.
La conceptualisation. Attends, conceptualisation. Du coup, on va voir ça. Est-ce que je peux être un mec conceptuel? C'est ça la question, hein. Art dramatique, je suis pas sûr que je suis... Si, ok, une conceptualisation. Je sais pas si je peux avoir autre chose, c'est bien ça qui m'embête. Électrochimie, projection dramatique, logique, instrument physique, clair-obscur, empathie, esprit de corps. Logique, sang-froid, clair-obscur. Je crois que... Conceptualisation encore. Ok, parfait, plus 2, on prend. On aime, on aime, on aime. Esprit de corps, dramatique, logique. Ça me plus d'une chance sur 2. Pas même plus, 72.
Close your eyes. Unfold your mental map of Martinez. It's morning. You're standing on the plaza before the whirling in rags. You turn around. The morning sun is blinding. You bring your hand to your brow and a great shadow materializes before you.
The dead king and his horse. It could work.
It may work, you think, but why do you feel like there may be a terrible cost?
We'll need an adequate power supply and a great quantity of
cables.
If we connect the cables to some of the stranded lorries, we could theoretically increase the antenna's wavelength.
Whatever ambivalence she had about your project before, she's now fully engaged.
Quiet. I'm doing maths. Yes, assuming we can find just a few pieces of equipment. It's completely ridiculous, but I believe we could
A note of awe in her voice. She's shocked and pleased.
What you choose to call it isn't my concern.
Uniquement pour vous dire ce qui est faisable ou non d'un point de vue technique.
I have plenty of cables and amplifiers on hand. The power supply I will secure on my own. All we require now is the radio transceiver itself. I cannot answer that for you, but I don't expect it to be that difficult. If you have real to spare, you might even be able to buy one.
And before you ask, no, you can't have the radio from Machinima.
En gauche, je crois avoir vu une radio dans un bureau pas loin du port. De quel port elle parle?
That sounds like a perfectly adequate radio. Certainly. Though it requires a fair amount of technical finesse to remove them. Absolutely not.
I highly doubt that. When I crank the volume on my dyno wave, it's like you're in the front row at the National Concert Hall.
That will be fine. In the meantime, I will gather the...
Et on peut continuer ça tranquillou, hein. Rester en état de marche et retourner à l'église. Bah en vrai, là on était dans le sous-sol, hein. Si je me mets par là, je devrais pouvoir me TP. Et donc du coup, si on retourne là-bas dans le sous-sol, techniquement il y a des sortes de radios là-bas, il y a des trucs. Oh bon, pour le RP on va remettre la lampe torche, voilà. quoi cette pensée que j'ai eue? Bon, j'ai eu une pensée, mais rien de plus.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Casting it's empty. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside.
Il y a un truc là-bas, non? Ah ouais?
Looks like someone tried to reconception. Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted. That's a good question. Not quite.
Un émetteur radio. Là, du coup, ça c'est le sport. Là ici du coup il y a l'alter, mais l'alter du coup on s'en fout. Salut madame. Bon, on est passé par votre truc, mais bon, tranquille. Un émetteur radio. Bien, mais un émetteur radio près du port. C'est ce qu'il disait, je crois. C'est un truc près du port. Bon, c'est pas ça. Port, c'est quoi? Voici là, mais on prend. Ah ouais, une bouteille d'alcool, c'est vrai. On s'en fout. Je sais pas, je suis un peu perdu là. Truc vers le port, un émetteur radio vers le port. Il y a un mec qui fait sa vaisselle. Là-bas, il y a les gamins. Les gamins, on s'en fout. Voilà, un peu plus au sud. Salut BG, salut Mathieu. Ça va mon gars? Émetteur radio. Lui là-bas, le pauvre pépère, non. Lui, il veut pas prêter celui de sa caisse. Il y a un truc à me dire, ça fait longtemps que j'ai pas parlé lui. Ok, ça sert à rien. Bah écoute, ça va tranquille, hein. Quand un bon petit lundi, hein. Lundi de taf, tranquillement. Je te stream en fond ma game de l'assurance. Ouais, vas-y, t'inquiète, y'a pas de soucis, hein.
Oh, salut, tous compatriotes.
Whoa, jackpot.
Cigarettes are a tool.
Je suis un tech et moi un en santé.
There it is. You picked the best one. This soldier is already...
You've...
Ouais, puis on n'est pas obligé de faire ça. Hein. On n'est pas obligé de fumer la team. C'est tout ce qui est tout ce qu'il y a à dire. On n'est pas obligé de fumer du coup pour avoir le meilleur intellect.
A lorry stuck in the traffic.
Ça on va rien avoir. Je sais pas où il veut qu'on trouve l'antenne. Ça là-bas, la voiture on a déjà vu. Ça du coup le truc, ça sert à rien. Il dit juste qui est-ce. Trouver une radio. En fait, parce que je suppose que l'autre là-bas il peut avoir un système radio, le petit Perkim, mais... Je pense que c'est moyen plus simple de le faire. Oh putain, comment ça a bugué. On va avoir un moyen plus simple de le faire, non? Et là-bas il m'amène quoi? Il m'amène rien du tout. C'est que c'est un chien et rien d'autre. Évidemment.
All the old boomboxes are there. A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and
Non,
table.
ça on s'en fout. Il y avait quoi là-bas sinon? C'était quoi ça?
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinket.
Hello again. A transceiver, is it? Yeah.
He produces a machine encased in a blue bakelite shell. Its black face covered in an assortment. The lieutenant whistles along.
A genuine crystal sprach. This is a connoisseur's model. Good for
the Model 9 also comes equipped with a signal purifier to suppress crosstalk. Well, it's not that Il Moran surplus junk, that's for sure.
Whoa.
We think 120. You'll be back again. I've got a feeling. For the moment, you'll be back again.
En va réel, non mais il y a moyen d'avoir autre chose là du coup. Sans va réel, c'est impossible, frère. Jamais j'ai la thune en fait. C'est bien ça le problème. C'est ça qui me casse les couilles. Ça me casse les coums. Tac. Si, rien de toute façon, il n'y a pas de truc radio là-dedans. Oh, ça c'est bien du père, ça c'est bien paumé, ça je reconnais. Aussi il peut y avoir un émetteur radio. Celui il y en a un c'est sûr, mais bon, comme je disais, du coup j'ai que 40 balles, 120 c'est beaucoup trop cher. Ouais, toujours rien. Pourquoi je m'entête à aller là-dedans? Bon, de toute façon, rien de plus, il m'emmène juste là-bas, ouais, il m'emmène juste là-bas. Cherche les liens, je disconnecte. Ah, les mecs bourrés, ils ont rien à m'apporter de toute façon. Je réfléchis, non. Vas-y, je pense qu'on y va. Je pense qu'on y va là-bas quand même. Oui, sortir un torche, pardon. Désolé, patron.
This isn't just glass. These are old, yes, filament memories from the time when wires were cast in glass.
So it is.
The how, the why, is easy because they hadn't come up with modern silicon-based systems yet. For vitreous...
The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean. These? No.
All you'll find here is pain.
Un peu à douleur. Tac, avant de continuer la team, je reviens vite fait. Juste au... Oh non, je vais pas vous dire ce que je fais. C'est évident. Non, je reviens vite fait à D'accord, la team, désolé. On va pouvoir continuer de s'aventurer dans cette caverne, on va dire, dans cette grotte. Alors. Qu'est-ce qu'on a là? Un tuyau embêtant enterré dans le sable. Oh, la thune cachée. On prend. Nous, on aime la thune, on le rappelle.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice.
Wesh! Qu'est-ce qu'elle nous fait? C'est votre crâne paralysé, un bruit de fond agressif remplit votre crâne, une étrange douleur que vous n'avez jamais ressentie auparavant. À travers le grésillement, vous percevez la voix d'une femme. Comme si un millier de radiostations avaient explosé à la fois dans ta tête, mais ces paroles sont les seuls mots qui distinguent.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
On a un petit cœur. On prend un cœur direct. J'ai bien fait d'acheter du cœur en avance.
I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
The voice coming through the whirlwind of pain is not malicious.
Elle est pas malveillante,
She
ok.
doesn't want to hurt you, but she has to.
Ok.
Doesn't wish to hurt you, not according to your ear canals. Wait, no, not even your ear canals. This is going directly into your no, buddy. That's not going to help.
Merde.
You can't shield yourself from this. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Really now? Check this out.
You're overwhelmed with a new surge of violent static.
Je que des mots je serais déjà mort, putain, si j'avais pas acheté d'huile en avance, heureusement j'ai acheté d'huile.
No, I'm not going to fucking kill you. If that had been my plan, I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
The explosion of static you're hearing. It's the ULAN frequency blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at.
Ils sont deux fous, frère. Vous allez vous enculer sur le stream.
A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale. Literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are, at the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get an opportunity to break loose.
I built it myself.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Ah oui, Kim, là, on s'en branle, là, c'est...
Way beyond. Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through. No, once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream. 2, 4, 5, 5, 7, 9, 7.
Bizarre, hein.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not cops, and of herself merely.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
You're looking for a deal on mattress. Damn this.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
Oh oui, s'il te plaît.
The gun she's carrying is a 2-barreled front loader. Not well. It doesn't feel much better, but she can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt. Just keep her talking, and you'll get through this.
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not...
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my back. I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a...
So she says she didn't do it, and she doesn't trust you. Is it you specifically, or the citizens' militia that she distrusts?
Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first. Oh, well, I guess I always knew she was a survivor above all else. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me? My boys? What is this? I thought Titus and I had a decent collegial... Oh, doesn't even matter. How could they be my boys when they're not even my friends? And those guys liked me, I know it.
$8 this...
How the fuck do the rest of you get by?
Tous pour survivre.
I did, didn't I? Now you've come for me. Fuck them all the same.
That did make her forgive them. A little.
Like what? I already told you I didn't do it.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon you. Yeah, and I'm sure they also made some funny remarks about it. They always do. I've driven a lot of long haul and chugged a lot of beer. Can't do either without some power of mind over bladder. And anyway, that wouldn't have been enough time. Wow, now I'm curious. Please, explain. Don't know it, but also... The shot couldn't have come from the roof, or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned...
That didn't go super well. You've got to lay something better on her.
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types. You think I was envious of his conquests? Look, Pussy's not a problem for me.
Whoa.
Definitely not a...
See her confident gaze, her toned arms. Yeah, she wouldn't have had much...
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pines sending in those foreign hirelings.
She didn't hate him, okay?
Plenty of broken people who... I'm listening. I considered her a good friend, yeah.
Oh, la phrase de fou. Est-ce que vous aimez brouter du minou?
Oh, so that's where you were going with this. That's a very sentimental way of putting it. We both had pasts we didn't want to catch up with us, and we enjoyed listening to music together. Why not go on a road trip?
The lieutenant watches her
la regarde avec impatience,
expectantly,
tremblant de temps
occasionally shaking from the
à cause de la
pain.
douleur.
Okay, fine. I was into her. Clausy was into me too for a time, I know it. We even fooled around
une fois.
once.
Ah.
And yeah, after that I thought maybe we could make a go of it. She rejected me with some wishy-washy bullshit about how she was confused because she felt so close to me and valued my friendship so much, and how guilty she felt for leading me on. I knew that wasn't the whole story, but thought, fine, I'll take it and move on.
No ill will there. It wasn't a problem for her.
Yeah, the girl seemed terrified. I'm not following your clever insinuations, detective. Look, I'm not aware of any hole in Claudia's wall. And if I had... Nope. Look, she has an effect on people. That je ne sais quoi that makes it impossible not to look at her when she walks into the room, and very difficult to look away. But travel enough and you realize, for the same reason that she's everyone's type as an object of desire, she's not your... Go ahead.
And mine too, he thinks. But keep on. This must be done.
And the gun store, Trigger Happy Jacks. What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supply? Sure don't.
A breech loader?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
No, they're not practical. Break too often. Yeah, evident. Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claudia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna. The view's pretty bomb, too. But it's very powerful. Yes, I'm sure. So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over, too. Never trust a musician.
That really comes as a blow to her.
Yeah, that figures. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking? Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the Union.
She deliberately avoided naming the mob she worked for.
I got lucky being...
There. It's going to be easier to reach the machine now.
Tu as la chance de...
Based on what I've heard about you, yeah? Where?
More questions before doing anything.
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to...
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been...
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
She eyes you warily, as though she's refusing to adopt the demeanor of a cornered animal, a leader with...
It's okay. We just...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasya comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her. Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before. No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such
C'est bizarre parce que ça se contredit pas mal avec du coup la version de Clay et de Titus.
She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
What?
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck to fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy Boys.
Ah ouais, donc sa version contredit totalement celle de Cass.
You can't remain calm under pressure otherwise.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what... As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me. I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent. Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human canopy.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Oh yes, they do. The cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you?
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Harry Dubois. One corrupt motherfucker with the disco pants and a funny tie.
So she knows your name. That doesn't mean you're on the take.
Yeah,
all of this just means that you're effective. Criminals know you.
Is that a joke or a threat? I'm guessing both. Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe you.
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough. You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus.
I thought we had an agreement, she thinks. She's not going to change her mind that easily. Wait, one thing. Possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something.
Yeah, you had your death squad with you. What happened to them anyway? Sure you do. I bet they're just outside
Non, mais j'étais tout seul.
I guess well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had two guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad either. One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding something or other about him. And the woman was... That sound about right?
No idea who these people are. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer looks out of the window grimly, then puts his coffee down and turns to Patrol Officer Minot. We could either take a room here in the Whirling or go home for today. Let's go home, Jean. Nothing's going to happen today, she responds quietly. Jean takes his blonde wig off. Call Heidelstein. He can give us a ride.
Friction, lock, set.
Fantastic. I've got to get on the road. Then you can go find your friends. What bunker? Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. And I'm sure I'm not the first.
You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It's... She looks at the machine, assessing...
Oh, fuck it.
Huh?
You should know the words to say. You've been here yourself. So why is it? Because you've been going around. No, wait. Finally, it comes to you. She flashes you an incredulous grin. Then she exhales sharply, shakes her head, and pulls the trigger. You watch as her brains trickle out through her neon hair.
Fuck.
Get a hold of yourself. He needs your support now, too.
Our job. It went really bad.
She died. How can he be so?
Lieutenant Yefreitor Dubois, control your emotions. We did our job.
There is no coming back from this one. It will stay with you.
We clean up. It may take days for processing to pick up her body. We need to move it somewhere. That tent there.
Je vais pas la porter là quand même, si? Oh yes, c'est bien vu ça.
The plain red tent. You see a rolled up sleeping bag.
We should put her in the sleeping bag, so the rats don't.
The lieutenant nods.
Mais c'est suicidé! Mais wesh! Mais...
There she lies, cocooned in the sleeping bag, surrounded by magazines. You should look through them. Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of
See anything?
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. You pocket the worn brown leather journal. She watches by, motionless.
We should read this immediately, like...
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry. It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name. Schneller. Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects. She had good taste and must have taken what she recalled. The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled. The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny... It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
We could learn a lot from this.
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station.
Professionalism is his coping mechanism. Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape. Short, wry observations of people and places, probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are staff issues, always tough on the leadership. you smell traces of betrayal. The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable. Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. She is referring to betraying her previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense? That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. La Puta Madre? M is mentioned on March 9th. And great. M's peon is coming to town. No doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the things played out, just as she had feared? Except you didn't shoot her. Maybe it's the old you. Or maybe, no, not even the old you. No you would do that. Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me. Did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still... The entry ends abrupt. The call was a courtesy. He must have held her in high regard to personally tell her he knew about her plan to run drugs for... The most recent entry is from today. Even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea.
I don't think she killed the mercenary. It looks like she might...
This whole thing was a detour. Don't get emotional.
By the Hardy Boys? By Classier? By us? No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
His trust is well placed.
Classier was the one who pointed the finger at Ruby. Perhaps she was trying to steer us away from herself, or... maybe she had an accomplice. Either way, one thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling in rags.
Waouh. Ok, est-ce que je suis le péon de la puta madre? Eh ben putain, moi qui pensais que c'était bientôt la fin. Ouais, qu'on en soit encore loin. C'est ça qui est trop kiffant avec ce jeu, c'est que vraiment tu sais jamais quand ça se termine. Tu crois que c'est terminé, tu crois que tu avances sur quelque chose, finalement plot twist de fou. Ça se retourne encore, autre possibilité. Bon, le problème c'est qu'il est 21h14. Euh, 21h14, ce qui m'arrange pas trop, c'est qu'en soi... Pardon, excuse-moi, je suis désolé. Moi je suis un dégueulasse. Est-ce que je suis le pion de la puta madre? Je suis pas à l'église là? Ah non, l'église c'est plus à gauche. Elle a dit qu'on pouvait appeler le poste. Après il est 21h, est-ce que ça va marcher comme... Je peux pas me TP là? Je suis à l'église, chef. Je peux me TP non? Je peux pas me TP. MDR. Est-ce qu'il est trop tard pour voir ce TP? Peut-être en vrai. Oh mon dieu, il est trop tard hein, en vrai, hein. Ce serait pas illogique. Hein.
Our tenant, please.
Du coup, je dois refaire un aller-retour comme ça? Ouais, vas-y, on va bientôt.
Stop. Now. It is time. Crisis. Death. Be prepared. Wield what a shitty gun. But it's better than nothing.
Then you'd better get ready. Whatever happens, I've got your...
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. 10-4, sir.
Feels good to get that up.
10-4, sir. Well, there's been some talk, sir. I only meant that there's been some talk in the station, that's all. But there's always some talk in the station. You know. But then again, some of us truly are on the take. It's unfortunate. Roger that.
Spoil.
I'm all out of shits to give, loincloth. Welcome to the fucking reckoning.
Put your damn gun down. People are gonna get hurt.
Shut up! You're not gonna talk yourself out of this, loincloth shit fuck.
This is the mercenary at the gates. His chest rises and falls under the ceramic breastplate. There's something very wrong with him.
Shh. This is a misunderstanding. Nothing irreversible has happened yet. You can just return to your unit and forget all about...
The Kypt is merciful, willing to spare us if we just forget about our murdered and humiliated commander. I think we should just kill everyone, Corty.
You are all drunk. Come to your senses. You won't gun down 7 people in the middle of the street. This isn't a frontier town or a jungle outpost.
Easy, Lizzie. Let me handle it. I know guys like this. I'm sure
he is facing overwhelmingly superior.
Peaceful.
Nest in your abdominal cavity like a little wild mouse. The masked man's words are barely...
Fuck, there's the third one. How did we miss something like this?
The lieutenant is genuinely worried for his life. You should consult him before getting in there.
If this turns into a firefight, we should take him out first.
A sound strategy. He's the leader.
My plan is not to get killed, but we have to intervene.
He doesn't want to, but he must.
Get lost, comedian. You cops had your chance. Now it's fucking time for some justice.
I think he's calmed down a bit.
Pig fuck!
Oh, people are gonna die today. We're not leaving it like this. These tribals hung him up for everyone to see.
No one is going to kill anyone. Let's just put the guns down and talk like civilized human beings.
With a wordless gurgle, the killer loads his long rifle. The leader gives a small nod to the helmeted man. Suddenly, your fingers holding the grip of a gun that has just taken a life tingle. Go for it, it seems to say. No, wait. It's good you have that gun. It really is. Just soften him up first. Present an argument.
J'ai pas envie de tuer des gens, j'ai pas envie qu'il y ait des embrouilles là.
Even if it comes to a fight, it's always a good idea to drag it out first. Get under his peace. Always peace. It has worked thus far. Start with the first idea you have, then move down from that. Please.
C'est...
Dangerous. Ask about him first. You don't want personal facts about his dead friend coming out of your mouth. He has to start it.
Sergeant Major Raoul Cortiner, reporting in to burn this fucking mud hut to the ground.
As he moves, the interlocking pieces of his armor click. Softly. Corti. Cortiner. Major Raoul Cortiner. Friends with Lely. Raoul and Lely.
For killing, maiming, and humiliating our commanding officer, you're all sentenced to death by lead. Fuck do you mean?
We've heard testimony. People say he was charismatic.
Yeah, he liked to chat up the natives.
Ouais, indigène carrément.
Squeeze a bit of kit ass here and there. Great fucking idea that turned out to be. If Lely was here, he would spare the lot of you. Maybe shoot one for show. But me, I'm not a big fan of public affairs, clay monkey. I'll gun every one of you down for what you did.
Ready to open fire, Major. At your command.
Baby blue, yeah. Like someone fucked up and put a baby's eyes on a grown man. It was creepy, but bitches like that shit, I guess. Or, I don't know what bitches like. I just know how to mow down cloths. Find his killer. Cop, his killer, stands right there, shitting his pants.
Il a pas expliqué, elle a déjà suivi une balle dans la tête avant ça.
I know what this tactic is, Silo Sam. You're gonna die for them. Right here. Today.
This did nothing. You think you were onto something? You just wasted time. Please, act.
Yeah? Who did then? How fucking convenient. You think I'm fucking stupid, cop? How about the kid? Tell me, it's a magic fucking sniper one more time.
Listen, please. This cop and this drumhead court marshal won't decide who...
The Hardy Boys confessed to hanging him, all together. Titus said we took him out back and hanged him. He said it loud, in a public place.
You're lying. DePaul heard it.
You heard wrong. She and these men have been helping us find the shooter.
Fucking liars.
The shot rings in your ears, a low, tinny ring. Then the young woman stands and looks behind her. The shot has flown over her head, crashing a small pane of the glass window behind her.
I missed.
I know what I heard, Corty. They said they killed him. They said it was a good way to end a Sunday night.
That doesn't sound good. You need what topic? Shots have been fired. Act before it's too late. This was a close call.
Okay.
Alright, here we go. This is an illegal tribunal. Cranell would never sanction. Really? None of this looks like it's going to do anything but piss him off.
What always happens when you get good at your job? That name meant night raids. Fucking extrajudicial funky time, burned villages. Shit that sounds bad on the radio. The same thing happened when we were called whatever the fuck it was. Probably won't be called Cranell for much longer, either. Not after this shit.
Okay, it's not much, but he's thinking about something else, and his hand is off the gun. This did something.
You think I care what that company cunt thinks?
The man stares at you with bloodshot eyes, a bull ready to charge.
She's gone, you stupid fuck! Sailed off 5 minutes ago.
As you look to the bay, you see a small green sail on the horizon.
Stay cool! Don't! The company bitch is gone. Laylee's gone. Fuck are we still doing in this shithole?
Guys, I just get in the way. I don't even have a gun.
Hold your ground. Any more of you run, I'll shoot you myself. We're doing this together.
They're huddled close in a formation. Still, the rest will stay, even if it means dying here with him.
Rude. Rude is the killer. Rude, the killer, Howen Cloven. He doesn't talk much.
All of you cunts inside out.
The gunner, the raddest, the killer.
Opéradio monte la fonctionnalité. Opéradio, ok.
What do you think he does?
There, on the rim of Owen Cloven's helmet, you count little stick figures. 19, 20, 21.
Smart.
Easy. Easy now.
Yes. So what? Nah. I'm clear as day.
Enough already! What is this? We didn't—
Interrupt me again and I will execute you on the spot, Lance Corporal. Who the fuck is that?
Classé, the woman upstairs. Where is she?
She left. She left. Her room's cleaned out right before these assholes showed up.
Bordel.
We should have arrested her.
You can feel how upset he is with himself. Just for a second. Then—
Hey, Bushman! Your little cunt isn't gonna help you out of this one!
She's gone. Forget about it now. Concentrate on this. A small explosion expels the bullet from the chamber. With a puff of smoke, it hits the man's skull like dice. The kinetic energy of the 9mm.
Go ahead! Give it another try. Do it! Kill him.
To your right, the killer raises his rifle and takes aim at you. His moves are steady, but the long barrel of the rifle sways slowly.
Oh putain, je suis mort.
The shot rings and you stumble. Something violently tugs at your shoulder, pushing you backwards with incredible force. A volcano of burning— the pain flows.
God, please.
He's aiming for the eye slot in Rude's helmet. Then, 2 shots ring at once, and you hear a scream. But you're too hurt to— Glenn, dying in a puddle of blood behind you. Oh God, watch out. You see 2 cold eyes looking at you through all the smoke and panic, and a pistol raised, aiming at your chest. A look of happiness. His eyes seem unnaturally bright, shining like stars. Something in the fear must... Here it comes. Death. You simply blink, then something inside your pelvis explodes. Your entire lower body is on. The pain is too immense to scream. It pushes the air out of your lungs. Everything goes dark. A distant blur. Nothing. A persisting darkness. Dancing lights of pain. Distant shadows.
You're bleeding out. Stay with me. Yes, keep talking. You hear me? Stay awake.
But you can't. It's so hard. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the sounds ever more distant. And a cold comes over you. The lieutenant, a shadow, towering. Someone stands there, raising his pistol at him. The lieutenant does not see it. He's pushing down on your wound with both hands. No, you say, and hand out your firearm to him. Your hand trembles. That's all it takes. There is no room for hesitation. The lieutenant moves like a spring unloaded. He grabs. You hear a roar of pain, a death scream. The sound disappears like someone pressed stop on the tape. The hulking figure, too, is...
This is death. One more door, baby. One more door.
The fight? There is no fight. The fight is over. It was lost 1,000 years ago. You have laid here forever.
So?
Keep falling deeper. He's not taking it. His body is not taking it. Oh God, no. He's not disintegrating. He's swelling up instead. Over the hours, hurt and rotting, and being disinfected, and smelling of drugs, and feeling saliva in his mouth, drifting in painkillers, thrashing.
He can't go. Not before the case is solved. There is a radio in the distance. A radio of the world. Playing sounds. Good morning, Elysium. Soon you will return to the world.
Hours turn to days. Soon we will get up again and go through it again. Finally, it was him. He is the infernal engine. He never stops. He only gets...
You see the lieutenant's familiar shape in the orange jacket. It turns double, then triple, from the back.
Sunrise, Parabellum. What happened? You shot the colonel, unsuccessfully. Then you threw your gun at him. A firefight ensued. As retaliation, the rifleman shot you. He hit. With his carabine. I was looking for a clear line of sight. I shot and wounded him, while Glenn took a bullet in the spine. It was meant for me. He did not survive.
This is not the first person to die.
Titus, Fat Angus, and Theo charged. Angus and Theo died before they made it to intensive care. Titus died in the hospital yesterday. Alain and the young musician, I forget his name, they are all that's left. Yes. You were bleeding out. I think you said something about your wife, and you warned me. I was able to disarm the Major before he got a jump on me.
Thank you, although...
I was not able to kill him, as I should have. Cronel took him. A stray bullet killed the Pole, though, and that's what happened. Four. Glenn, Theo, Angus. The fat one. He took a lot of bullets. And Titus. He's in a private hospital across the river. Cronel claimed him from the local butcher shop where Titus died. Turns out he's insured. We won't get to him anymore. The good news is he's not coming here either. I did some damage. This is the one. Yes. All. Yes, officer. 7 people are dead. It's not a success.
+1.
But what's done is done. The violence is cordoned off. The Hornets did not get into the beehive. The worst scenario has not met, and we are still alive. Both of us.
He did not expect you both to survive once you stepped between those two armies.
Pretty bad, officer. You've suffered 2 wounds. The first is below your shoulder. The bullet passed through your shoulder blade, luckily missing your lung and heart. The second shot hit you in the thigh, the left quadriceps. No major arteries were nicked, but the bullet had to be removed. Bacterial infection was treated with... We will see.
If it's possible, then by pure willpower alone, you are going to have to become a psycho-locomotor.
No.
A man and a woman sit in the front seat of an armored motor carriage. The woman is driving. The man back to that shithole, he says.
I called your station after the fight. The injury was logged in. They told me they've sent officers to join you on the... I'm sure they are worried about you. I did. No need. Good. You'll need to be. Not very. I have a concussion from the Major beating me with the butt of his gun. Things would be worse if you didn't warn me. Easy now. How are you? Your disco days should have been done quite a while back, Lieutenant Freighter. Sunrise Power, the gates of the... I think we may have held it off, for now. Yes, we have also completely failed. Yes.
The close proximity of death must have made the lieutenant contemplate his life choices.
Mr. Gart cleaned it. It took him an entire day. 2 days, in and out. You've been up enough to take Dramamine and curse. And drink water. It's not outstanding.
Dramamine? Then...
I honestly don't know. We can't talk to Everhart. The harbor is in lockdown. Everyone in there is outside our grasp now. Yes, she left yesterday morning. To meet the board of Wild Pines, or that is what I've heard. There's a pin somewhere in the machine that keeps Cronel. Maybe it's her. Maybe she kept her hand. Either way, Ruby's gone. And Classé too. We really should have arrested her, you know? I don't know. I think the theory you presented, it's someone else, outside our circle of suspects, was right. It better be. Honestly, I think our investigation has not produced a single credible suspect. It's extremely easy. There are thousands lying around. We found one. All completely unusable. It's precisely how easy it is to find. We should go upstairs, rethink the ballistics in situ. I agree with this. What else?
See? There's that. You can.
Yes. God curse the footprints. Not solving the case for us. Au diable. I don't know. That's been there for years. We could find thousands more if we wanted.
But they seemed so mysterious.
No need to be melodramatic.
He arches his brow. The ceiling fan patiently spins overhead.
It can feel that way sometimes.
He sounds surprised. That concussion must be making him dizzy.
No. Are you ready to limp? Good. Where do you want to limp to?
The lieutenant did mention doing more ballistics. Also, it's just close enough to endure the walk.
Why not?
Je sais pas quoi dire à Tim, je suis un peu muet, je vais pas vous mentir. Il s'est passé une singerie là.
Another look at the window, perhaps? The one he was shot through.
C'est une singerie là, je me suis fait tirer dessus banal, genre. Enfin, au milieu d'un... Comment dire ça, d'un... D'une garde-gang, quoi. Pris entre deux feux. Oh, bordel de merde. Oh! C'est-à-dire que le jeu il est encore si loin d'être fini. Après, tant mieux, hein, je vais pas me plaindre. Hein. Je suis content que le jeu continue. Hein. Mais je sais vraiment, je m'étais dit, je lance le stream, etc. Sauf que c'est la fin. Il y a vraiment rien d'autre à faire. Oh putain, faut pas que je cours, c'est vrai. Bon, ça va être un peu loin. Mais bon, on va comme jouer roleplay. J'ai quand même pris une balle dans le quadriceps, la team.
The medicine cabinet, pity.
Et vide. Putain, dommage, j'avais un peu de un truc comme ça là. Oh, attends, j'ai pas vu la note.
Next to the stack of bills, you see a note. A few lines jotted down in I'm sorry, I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S.
Cadeau à l'étage.
I am not drawing my gun yet, but I don't like it.
Relax. Not everyone is.
It's hardly surprising.
À l'étage. Je reste confus. Non mais je sais pas si t'as vu Mathieu la scène du coup, scène de fou hein. On était là parce qu'en grosso modo en gros il y a le syndicat, genre les travailleurs etc qui étaient là tranquilles. Et t'avais... Ah putain elle a fait un trait avec l'angle, ok. Pardon. Et il y avait du coup des mecs genre des militaires, tu vois, genre des mercenaires et tout ça. On a voulu s'interposer parce qu'on est la police, c'est banal tu vois, on est la police, on sauve les gens. Waouh, on s'est pris 2 balles etc, une dans l'épaule, dans le quadriceps. Notre pote il a tué tout le monde, en mode goth.
Only now a red thread bisects the room, pointing from the antenna outside to the cupboard on the wall.
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
A ray of backward motion explodes from his mouth. It suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof. B triple prime. The island in the bay.
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point. I remember. She was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass.
She had a long time to think about it after. Standing on...
It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her? I find that hard to believe, but at this, so it is.
For a second he seems... tired.
D'un instant, vous avez l'air moyennement emballé.
He is trying to justify it. The lead is flimsy. You might as well go around Martinez, looking under every rock and talking to... There, across the grey water, amidst crumbling concrete, a birch tree, and the half-sunken ruins of a flak tower.
Not a lot, no. Could be the makings of a sniper's nest. I understand. Of course. I mean... How do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone.
Oh, c'est vrai. Petite Liliane.
Ah, yes, of course. The village. Let's go.
A red thread.
Alors, notre avoir ici du coup je suppose. Est-ce qu'elle a laissé un truc sur le toit? Non, sur le toit elle a rien laissé. Elle a mis le fil et tout ça, puis attaché à l'antenne. Tout simplement. Ok. 3 points de talent distribués, ça faut vraiment que je les claque. C'est quoi que je voulais enlever sinon? On a clairement plus de... Hein. Et je pense qu'en fait il faut vraiment que je revoie un max. On oublie ça pour l'instant. Voilà, si on fait ça. Je pense qu'il faut intérioriser le maximum de pensées à max parce que du coup vous avez des bonus, on peut vraiment avoir des trucs de zinzin en plus. J'ai vraiment cru que j'étais mort, hein. Putain. Je crois qu'on est pas mal en termes de stuff en quelque sorte. Je vais aussi mettre un petit truc de logique là, voilà, comme ça. En termes de poids répartis, on est pas mal.
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you. You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment.
Ah, évidemment, je t'ai protégé, mon ref.
I give credit where credit is due, and that, sir, was an honest effort. I was watching until it went down. Crawled inside then. Bullets started flying.
He really wants you to realize that he was also on the balcony looking by.
I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and your partner are staying here free now. This establishment supports cops. The stay is free, the drinks are not. It just felt... Oh, you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts. Turns out they're not good for business. Yeah, I was, yeah.
It really took courage. Don't pick at him.
Yeah, I don't...
He means it.
I don't remember everyone. No problem.
Seeing you approach, the bruised man raises his beer can.
Oh, it's you. Didn't think we'd see you walking anytime soon. Elaine, look. It's the cowardly cop.
Huh? Oh, abuse.
What?
He's very true.
Our condolences for your losses.
Does he look like...
He does not. His unshaven face. While still alive, he has abandoned his own body to decomposition.
No shit, Marlon. What's gonna happen to the Hardy boys? No, man. I don't know. I guess the Union will still be policing the neighborhood, but who's gonna do it now? Elaine, he won't be leading anything. Damn song.
And do you have...
God said...
Move on.
Yeah, you too. Both of you.
That's kind of you to...
I will.
A sharp pain.
Parce que du coup j'ai tout perdu quoi. Ouais, toutes les quêtes sont terminées du coup. C'est là que je peux plus récupérer mon flingue du coup dans cette histoire. Abandonné du coup, fait chier. Bon, c'est pas grave. J'ai un autre flingue du coup. C'est pas mon propre flingue, mais bon. Waouh.
The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells. The lieutenant crouches.
Looks like it, yes. This is and blood.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that flammable? The fuel oil catches fire immediately with a low hiss. A bright orange flash across the surface of the lettering. Rain turns to vapor. The lieutenant has taken. The flames warmed him.
Let's go to that island.
Slowly, the flames.
Allez voir Cindy rapidement.
Hello again, sir.
Elle a rien à dire à me donner, c'est pas grave. Allez voir Cindy rapidos. Elle est pas là, Cindy, forcément. Est-ce qu'elle est dans sa chambre par hasard? Ah. Pas directement sur l'île ou pas directement sur l'île, tu me diras. On va juste aller voir le port, à quoi ça ressemble du coup maintenant. Peut-être acheter un peu de huile aussi. Salut la jeune, c'est la jeune gamine.
A small cabinet on the wall is.
Okay, here.
Tous partis du coup. Hein.
The boyardero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
Yet you live. It calls back to an older era where this was commonplace. Hiding, gathering themselves. The harbor's in full lockdown, friend. No getting in or out. No, man. Not today.
He says it matter-of-factly, like it's no.
Time will tell. I'll tell Everard you dropped by. I'm sure he'll be glad. I'll be okay here, doing lookout. Quite the sight, aren't they? Don't worry about me. I live to alleviate the worries of our brothers. See if any insane killers turn up. Then I'll run. And live. I'm sure I'll be luckier than you, friend.
Est-ce qu'on peut se téléporter cette fois-ci? Ou pas du tout? Ah oui, c'est pour ça qu'ils m'ont forcé aussi à pas téléporter, parce que du coup, si j'aime téléporter, ils allaient du coup me tomber dessus. Ça va perdre du coup toute la mise en scène possible.
Aye, though I suppose you took the worst of it. Turns out you were your own. I'm not sure those were the...
Officer, what happened? You're wounded.
She sounds almost disappointed with you, reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee.
Look at you, you can barely walk. Doesn't look like nothing. What happened to you anyway? We heard gunshots from the...
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
Of course. Can I help you with something? That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead. Used to be some kind of fortification there before the war. For the communards. An anti-aircraft gun, I think. Bombed to bits in the landing. I haven't been there myself.
Hasn't been there herself. Who has then?
My husband used to drink there.
Ah ouais, ok.
Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know. My mother told...
This must be one of the many fortifications that was used in the dying days of the revolution.
The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do, on rafts. I tell them, the twins. God forbid.
Can we maybe ask your twins about that place?
Be my guest. They've a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do. Well, most of it's sunken.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Par ici, l'eau est plus profonde.
If you promise to bring it back, and no scraping that...
Of course, ma'am.
Aye.
The crow's feet disappear.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just filled her up, but it's...
Donc, jugement rapidement.
The scruffy-haired little boy.
On that island. Okay. That's, nothing. It's just a seafood and some plants. Yeah, and we make a fire. We make a fire. Mm-hmm. Gather the sticks for the fire.
Des balles.
And bullets.
Bullet shells. There are a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be important.
I don't know what those are. They're lights. The fire guy doesn't ask us to put the fire out.
They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off.
No. Yes.
Let's go with yes.
Because he asks to put the fire out. I don't know. He doesn't like it. He don't like people to be there. You shouldn't go.
Oh, les embrouilles.
Yes. No, he doesn't live there. I don't think. No, he lives there. Been there twice, 2 times. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes.
Anything else?
What? I don't know. We ran. He just yelled. I don't know.
Did you mean there are electrical lights?
Yes. Our father killed him. Don't say that, he didn't.
A dull pain flashes through your mind.
I don't know. Doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. But
the two things are...
There's a...
Lights, fire guy. We should check up on that island.
Et bah alors sur cette île, hein. Oh putain de merde. Donc c'est justement la fin, genre on est plus genre 80% du jeu, 75% et que du coup soit le dernier quart, dernier tiers, peut-être en vrai. Hein.
A skiff. The boat's belly is once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle, and you're off into the bay. Have you made all the necessary preparations? Remember what the net picker said. It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
What? Fine. What?
Very cool. Sad FM.
Je crois qu'on arrive sur la vraie fin du jeu. Et là, bon magnétophone, banger en approche. Bordel de merde. C'est ça la fin du jeu? Et là, bim, gros kraken. Gros mégalodo là qui arrive par en dessous, boum, on est mort. Imagine la dinguerie. Tu vois l'histoire du bunker, ça le bunker, ça on n'a pas compris du tout dans l'histoire à quoi ça servait hein. Oh bah ça va, c'est juste à côté, on en parle comme si c'était hyper loin, genre ça va, abuse. J'ai du pétrole qui fuit, bizarre. Il y a un rail avec genre de bateaux qui peuvent descendre, sortie.
The boat comes to a slow stop. In the silence, a sputter of "Let's go." The chain trails.
Ah, yes, so it seems. For bringing me
as a defensive measure, locking off that side of the
from enemies. Enemies.
Ok, donc on peut monter, mais on peut aussi accéder un peu vers le bas, non? On peut accéder un peu ce qu'il y a en bas. Ouais, bah ok, on peut pas accéder plus, ok, on a vraiment ça, c'est... Je pense que là-bas en dessous, il n'y a rien à cliquer, non, il n'y a rien qui m'autorise à cliquer. Il y a quoi de faire un petit point d'XP. Ouais, tout biscuit, ok, donc c'est ce qui en plus du coup coule sur le sol. Pas sur le sol, dans la mer, pardon.
The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Far away birds, the flock of quail departs. Now more than on the islet, there is almost no wind, just the light movement of air through the reeds, like a silent orchestra tune of great importance to the few who attend. A silent hiss, sea air moving through the needles of a pine, the faraway roar of the city, distant like today's dream. Air flows out of a pillbox window. There is very little there. The air cossets flat, a low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks. A jitter, a sound impatient to happen, but not. You hear some kind of limb fidget, producing an imperceptible tick. No, it's just your imagination. You can't hear.
Yes? I have. Is that why we're stopping?
Ouais, je suis où là? Allô? Oh, c'est bon, putain. Oh, le petit bug là. Vous êtes l'entrée et la sortie là-bas. Une sortie là-bas aussi, ok. Est-ce que c'est sombre ou est-ce que ça va? Ça a l'air d'aller pour l'instant.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on piles of soft...
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
You force the rest of the sentence out through pain.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there. In the dark corner, the blanket feels cold. The entire room does. You feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Slowly, the world begins to hatch from the sleep.
Oh, y'a pas Kim. Oh, j'aurais jamais dû dormir. On a perdu Kim. Jamais dû dormir. Hein? Quoi ça, je peux aller nulle part? J'ai jamais dû dormir. Bordel. Non, on dit pas que c'est fini. Ça descendait vers la chaîne. Ça, je marche sur l'eau, je vais devenir con, frère.
Dolorous day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state turns around to face you. Okay, don't say you need to talk right away, but you don't even want to talk to her. She would only be cold. Let her go. This is the holy queen of the territories of Mwindi and Insulinda. Think of the historic knowledge we could glean. Win her back. How does that fit in here? And what is the Holy Suzerain doing here anyway?
I'm going to Morova, to live there in Grad. It's 1 million kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime. Just my scepter, my globe cruciger, a spare silk gown, a toothbrush, travel documents, the crown of immortality. Oh, this This is just a wreath. The crown of immortality is made of rarefied light, mana and raw palladium. It was passed on to me by the rulers of late antiquity.
She looks at the suitcase, not in silence. Her nuptial gown flows.
Anyway. No, Harry. It's just regular skin. I'm not as beautiful as you always thought I...
She does not answer. Silence. A distant...
No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive, epic showdown. I want to go to the aerodrome. I have tickets for the 10:20 flight to Morocco. We don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us anymore. Us. Our love. Our unborn daughters. It's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome. I have to leave Ravachol and you.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try it now. With your feet trembling from the steps you took, tepid and fearful, you stand against her. She is not kissing you back. The moment is ending. She is going to move her face away from yours.
Non, elle a pu m'embrasser quand même. Elle a pu rendre le baiser.
Trying hard not to look at you. When, brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no words for how I failed you.
No. I'm just Dora. No, Harry. Not yet. There is one... I'm pregnant. Of course not. I terminated yours. Don't you remember? You poor fuck. Now, go ahead. Ask me more questions.
No. More questions. Ask more.
I don't want it. That's not what figuring...
She looks at the headless found rider between your...
I didn't ask for things. It's too late to give me anything. I would have liked the headless fallen rider back then. I don't know what you mean. Dolores Day. Yes, Harry.
A tiny golden watch with red straps around it.
I have to...
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You shouldn't have said that. I am wrong about everything.
No. That would only be pain. That was someone else. I betrayed her, overwrote her, and am happier for it. I won't see you, but you will see... Oh, Harry. This is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Who knows how long ago this happened? A year? 2? 5 years ago? Right here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, it keeps happening. 3 times a week. I'm suffocatingly beautiful. And young. And I smell of tutti-frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked... Oh yes, this is real darkness. See you tomorrow.
Chaque fois dans mes rêves, elle, du coup. Oh putain de merde. Bon, ça c'est du rêve, hein.
You're up quick. How was your sleep? Okay.
He's still worried. You must have really... Cleaning out the rooms. What if you didn't lose your memory? What if something in Martinez came and stored it all away, for you to slowly open one box at a time, so you can choose which parts to keep? Keep almost...
La stat.
Books and magazines. Most are soft covers. Serialized fantastique and detective stories. Popular depictions of man versus nature among what is...
Someone's made themselves a home.
Not that you can tell. This is a digest of someone you do feel... The print in some of these is pretty small.
Plus en empathie.
An old cylindrical... The lieutenant puts his hand on the...
It's cold now, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired. Downstairs, somewhere? Liquid carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout. The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves.
If anyone stayed here, a hollow ring, the canister is empty.
I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. Someone who is basic electrical skill.
The wind outside, the lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the fuel tank as you tilt. There's a red starter. The recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters like an old...
That should do it. Downstairs?
Soft covers, serialized.
Ouais, ça marche là, il y a un truc caché en dessous. Ok, pas mal.
Green paint flicks off the monoblock.
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. They terminate here. I think, yes. Let's see. That one. The emergency open.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
Ah oui, c'est une sacrée porte qui s'ouvre en fait. Waouh.
After you. I don't know.
A thin wisp of...
Don't worry. I know. It was not...
Ok, mais sont plutôt dehors de l'autre côté.
A strange with a bottle in your hand. Yes, cold and still. But yes. No. We're not starting with that. old man, wearing tracksuit trousers, leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before unclouded by cataracts. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
The what now? I can't hear you. I may have. All sorts of little rat fire guy. My eyesight? Yes. Helps me. I did. And you opened it. I should have burned that console down. Reactionary rock and roll music.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
The fascists were wrong. It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it's a Triangong 446.
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must be defunct too. No more.
A Samaran rifle.
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Signal commune. Military aid. You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from the board.
No. Put it down now.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question. It's out of bullets.
Like an amputated limb in the sand, his gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels the rifle's in a shabby state. Like a crutch that's seen on the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burned into the wood. Try it.
The right type and the right calibre.
He's liking this. The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession in time.
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
The Commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
No. I've been on other... I was an Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 43 years and 10 months. It's inhuman.
He nods, but he can't.
What have you been doing?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men. 2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering. One day, it says,
always waiting. For her to
Her who?
Girl child. Revolution. It won't. The material base for an uprising has eroded the historic opportunity for our...
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load.
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the...
There is no flame to fan. I was just 60. You could say a second for reaction to take hold. May the 13th. Oh, it's not enough. It's not an island. What? It's a defensive fortification of the congenitally deformed King Philip II. Built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02. Retrofitted. Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found a Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone. Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who? You don't know. You haven't seen it. Iblis, the black-eyed angel. How does anyone survive? I steal supplies, vegetables. I collect rainwater. It's the life of a dog, not a human.
How is your health, Miss?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like...
He does seem frail. Gaunt for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could...
TRCM can provide medical services.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities? You have. There's no... I haven't. I don't even know what. Inferno?
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live.
Traitors. It's better. It's disgusting.
Are they not heartbroken?
It was hard.
There were...
We come and others at night.
In the city.
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares. So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right? I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
The propaganda bunker.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys. A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go. I don't want to.
He does not want to see life moving on. The old man looks across.
You're with the RCM. The coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol. You're the RCM. You represent them. Take me to them.
A spray of blood from his mouth. On the... Rene, the royalist on the coast, said.
Liberal reactionaries signed that in.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
Honor is a feudal atavism. No, I am not a soul. Trained.
The old...
His job...
Science?
He was like a...
No.
The old...
His job...
Science?
He was like a cleric. Okay then. He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a... I've used it.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? I've used it.
Interesting. During or...
There is no after the war.
So he's continued killing. Go in straight. No. Be careful now. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. get personal.
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
I don't want to
And why?
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the... Exhaust him with proof. Pilot the scent of blood in the air. But what else? Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first. Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. And Maybells on... and nowhere else. Nowhere in all of Martinez have you seen them. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up. You got it. Nothing else comes up. You see the lieutenant watch you. Try to stimulate thought. I'm sorry, this did...
Officer, a word? I think we may have this. From nothing to this in a day. This is good, Lieutenant Jeffreiter. We just need a confession first, and then maybe a solid motive later. I can see that, yes. Ballistics. Let him cook here for a minute or two. We can have another look around the island for a sniper's nest. I think we should check out the post.
It doesn't have to hold in court. Just establish a line of sight, and he'll do the rest himself.
Yes, good going. Good.
You hear that?
Remember.
There is palpable... He thinks the deserter has more than just this case in him. 44...
Oh, yes. And...
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Branded and an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarettes.
That embrasure. What?
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window. Quite old and grimy from... The springs screech as you lean on the mattress in trepidation. A tingling, a small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire, Capeside apartment. The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags, Rue des Sondes. The box-shaped silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop, sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
What does that mean?
More than that.
I can see it. Through the scope of a rifle. The shooter would be prone, lying on a mattress. I think we have it. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Affirmative.
Why? We don't go everywhere in a 1,000-meter radius of the crime scene. That's not possible. Don't beat yourself up.
The lieutenant pauses.
We will make up for it.
Vraiment la fin du jeu là? Les émotions, c'est les émotions.
Minions of capital. What do you want? Petty bourgeois law. This is all you care about?
A drop of blood in the saliva. That's right. Pile it all on him now. 3 should do it. Maybe 4.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are?
Show me the soles, please.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is Sensorique. The model is Corbeil. And these are not the unusual horizontal pattern soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly. Some strange... More. He's gonna crack. But you need a little more.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistol. I've seen you prance around with. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles.
Damn, he saw you. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it? 4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Telling things.
Murder.
Like a marionette. This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies.
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You clear...
I'm ready to die.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Leave no stone unturned. Get him on.
Damn Maybells. The whole island.
He seems tender suddenly.
So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away. Classé.
He repeats the name with care. He knows her, but hadn't heard the name.
My ears don't reach the city. With the victim. You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood. Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 4... Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them. In phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her. Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night? Before...
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to... You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's...
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying...
A rifle scope has the...
And if you don't like it?
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
Tellement point du coup.
You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
Joyce. He means Joyce.
Wrinkled up whore. They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and masked phalanx weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt. Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't. Them. Fucking. I didn't like that. Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth.
This man has seen past her, like you did. And now he longs to see her covered in, to punish her.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. Airport bag in hand. Silks flowing in her. See you tomorrow, Harry.
You're delusional. There's nothing to see in the soul of the bourgeois woman. It's the same. No one gives a shit what you think. Since she came
past the fell building on the coast,
hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't.
And beautiful.
Her passport and tickets to Viens.
In the free state of Seminine, hidden away at the edge of the earth.
After she was gone.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was...
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets.
This implies that also a little inconsistency here. He was surprised to hear her name Clausia before. Would he not have seen it on the documents?
It didn't say Clausia in there. It was something. I don't remember. It was dark that morning. I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks. And a body hard and lean. And I could see who she was, too. A spook. On the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers in...
You could tell she was a spook from the document?
She had different color hair on the photo. And glasses. Forged.
The bruises. You can't make that out in a scope.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
Non, c'est-à-dire qu'il a peut-être changé de chaussure. C'est trop le Judas.
There's...
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly.
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something. Yes, over the years. It's not No. I don't really know. I was there one night and she was the day after I killed him. Yes, I don't know why I do the thing.
It's as if something put the thought there to leave the flowers.
What do you mean?
A brief flash of terror.
Maybe if you came 10 years ago.
In the silence. One more down. He must have climbed to the roof, maybe.
I have my way.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling.
I've been through all of Martin.
Thank God, Lieutenant is...
But that Nook too?
Yes, that. You turn...
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of one more loose end down. We're doing this, Detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the...
One more thing. The flowers, Mr.
What about them?
There. He's already admitted to it. Just ask.
I did. I shouldn't have. I was there one night, and she was crying. The day after. Yes.
It's as if something put the thought...
Maybe. If you...
In the... One more down.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you. That's it.
Where is she? That classé. I haven't seen her there for days. Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope. She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story tower. On the platform, small. There, he's the special as the men. Good luck.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done? You could get more out of him. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and...
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in... Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Pump full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III. A syphilitic murderer, not since the serfs of ancient Intense, like animals, like those boom-boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her. The worst is that old cock parading around. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Coyamoran, or some other island they built. That's all the rich really want. Sex with them. We did good when we pushed him up.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical
Another
disappointment.
That deformed toad? That
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such...
You can't live alone.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez.
Of course. Maybe they don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not...
Again?
Try teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something. Oh no, the connection does... Dumbo, Do something. Slap yourself in the head again. By God, we are on the edge. In the
Officer, Mr. Dross, what about the
other people?
Like the previous...
That's it.
I didn't fight 40 years to end up an informant for the international regime.
Still dumb. Your eyes are Before, when you asked him about the Union, he said it was a disappointment. They promised him something.
Look who's up.
We will have plenty of time to talk about this, Mr. Dross, when you're in pre-detention. It takes years in pre...
Go ahead. I've been in solitary confinement.
Ease off it. This was not an unmitigated disaster. The lieutenant...
Glad? It's all gone.
Pas améliorer sans froid, j'ai un peu améliorer sans froid, je crois.
His lip curls into a...
Every royalist, I remember him. That...
That doesn't...
Fatten. Not yet.
Save the treat.
He is better.
Hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
No. I waited too long.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross.
They're all dead now.
If he really wanted to kill him so bad, he would have done. There must have been 1,000 black days on these islands. His health ailing.
And
He reminded him of himself.
All human. You think I am?
He's not okay.
I don't even...
Renee must have...
Glad we talked about what? What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The sum of... The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you...
But... No, I don't want to.
He's sweating. Pupils are dilated too.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
There it is again, to your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. Something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against...
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. What?
What are you talking about?
Your skin crawls.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? De cryptozoologie, aidez. Mais je suis plus bourré là, ça va plus marcher ça.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb. It's still there. And
what are you talking about? There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pin. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand rise instinctively.
Tell me what you see, damn it.
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair. The segmented antennae move with apprehension. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss. Like the hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a sear like laughter, a sort of happy hissing and clicking. It extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its...
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion, while it's...
In 3.
If the shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword, the phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash.
I got it.
For all time. The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push. A sudden shiver passes the limb. Looks like some sort of countdown process is happening. That's all you have time to think. The antennae, the sensation is electrifying, resounding through your body. It is surprisingly delicate, the curly end of the whisker, like a...
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of moisture. The creature in front of you stays frozen. It tastes like sugar, very faint. The anthropod towers are odorless, mostly Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing. No reply. You were right. The faintest smell, like you've never felt before.
Careful.
The foam, letting out that same smell. Apricot blossoms, white blossoms erupting. A sensation, like cold hands on your face. Nothing. Its simple eyes give off no flicker of light. No, it's spread too thin among its limbs, performing incomprehensible operations on the world. And you, looking at it, the insect, suddenly, as you do, praying to you. Unwittingly, perhaps it is preparing to eat its god.
I exist. I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmadia. Endemic to
Donc
the
ça, tout à
insular
l'heure c'était 87%, je me suis déjà fait baiser 130%. Encore une fois, il t'explique.
I have hidden in plain sight. Must go went unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain.
C'est quoi cette
Also,
merde?
by the soldiers of the revolution, and of I have stayed hidden through four forms of. Tell me what it's like for you. What is your illness? For me, now I will tell you how shapes of. I am at the end of a narrow funnel. Weightless. Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you. It's all of creation reflected in your form, even when you're sleeping. And when you wake, that must be incredibly hard. The arthropods are silent, and when you fall...
In honor of your shit, Lieutenant Gefreiter, which you kept together. Detective, arriving on the scene.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to? I can also detect ferrets. No, you're away. Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily. I think we should eat it. No, the pail too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The reed, it is a nervous shadow cast into the... You're a violent... We suspect...
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nerve mirror. Simian butcher. Soon...
It doesn't look like that, no. You're just staring at it. Okay. Is it somehow related to the case? I think you should back away from the unstudied species now.
No, there is one more. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman turned from the ruin. She was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick, he said, to tell you that.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface. And just like that, it's gone, skating away, and something under it. In the place it stood,
it's gone. Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look. Apparently, yes.
What? In some kind of strain.
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Qu'est-ce que le connard de la selle tout à l'heure?
This passport, issue.
Classia's hidden documents. From the empty...
It's Clasia, with short black hair, an old photo. Before life came.
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or... Perhaps. But that's like a mag... I can see...
Would it? Maybe it was simply curious.
An octopus belongs to a very different class. She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. And
Katarzyna Alazia was supposed to be her real name. Where Clasia comes from. I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now. In another city.
No, she lied to us. Her so-called real name, I don't know. But it's not Katarzyna Alasia or Clasia. Or Anouk Meyer. Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what happened?
Oh bordel. Oh, putain,
what is it? Something is very wrong with him now.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He, with fear and long, like an addict of some terrible substance. The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes the man.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility.
The trembling mouth.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
He stares into the reed. Nothing.
If Kuno kicked it...
No reaction.
Did you take this passport and other...
There.
He hears us.
No reply.
Try something else?
I lost...
He turns his eyes to the reeds again. As he's...
He lost the scope. Then this site is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached?
Silence. You've gotten all you will. The plastic cape. The blacks of his eyes are...
Old age and shock. The appearance of the phasmid. We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we...
Soft covers, serialized fantastique and detective stories, animal adventures, a magazine for electrical engineering, and soft covers, serialized, still nothing. ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
Insulindian cities.
Sounds and...
It does. The RCF, it's impossible.
Nice, political. It's going to be hard.
There were all sorts of groups. No.
With its horn.
No.
A DeLorean.
After one of these barrels.
The skiff is swaying.
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently, but for the sound of conversation, two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village. Looking, you reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought him. Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant. This is the man with sunglasses from the Whirling in Rags. But where are his sunglasses?
That's right. And we're not forgetting about anything. Look at you. Bothered by it. Oh, fuck it.
Hello, I'm Trent Heilstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar. And this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heidelstam. But...
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you after...
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island.
The scene is making even him.
We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a...
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsu.
Letting the lieutenant know he...
Ari, we want to help you. Tron?
This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was beyond...
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think my background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact...
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
Yes, I'm Trent Heilstein. Mikhail? Mikhail is my son. No, I was just interested in...
Him being there with his son. It was not a coincidence. It's difficult to see, but he was worried about you. And also...
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s. Like partial...
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
It's okay.
That's right. You're a worry fest. She's worried about you. You.
Maybe you've deserved it.
Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
Yes, I'm
still caught up in this crossfire, too.
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit. Under Lieutenant Dub. Refresh your memory.
I'm technically...
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show. Do? It's a major...
They're your posse. Or what?
The 41st isn't...
God damn it. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck.
It wasn't like that.
Fuck you, Harry. We didn't know there was gonna be a tribunal, did we? Oh, you think it was... None of us wanted to see the abyss. So the bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trent, this is where you come in.
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors. He talks without slurring. He can drive a boat. He's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
He is. He's getting better. And I can confirm that he drank a lot of alcohol prior to it happening.
I believe he drank. People do that, especially this one. What they don't do is forget their whole life because of drinking.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before. Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
Those cases were hard on you.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect. Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it, hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in a major crimes unit?
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a...
Leadership, now.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here. Yeah, no. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry? Ah, so refreshing. He just admits it. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand. You juggle the badge for a second. Ouch!
He found it. He found it, Jean. It's his badge.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements.
Yeah, I checked the local pawn shop. It worked too, didn't it? You're drunk right now, aren't you? You fucking bum, I can smell it all the way over here. So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it.
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
What you've discovered? You let the suspect escape, a certain classé, because you were too drunk.
We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
Oh, well, if she was nice. I'm not even gonna get into or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's more compared to the 7 people who were gunned down. That's true.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot, not once, but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been. Don't make this hard.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
He thinks of apologizing. but decides against it.
You've spent the week with him on this case. On Lieutenant Geoffrey.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize profusely, making it sound like it's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian social economist. He wants to liquidate the ruling class, which, again, for a police officer.
You should yell something.
The RCM consists of policemen of the state that is. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, something I was not present for. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which, by the way, I have...
Okay, he did.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transport. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers across. You hear gasps beneath the howling.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Fucking hell. Is this somehow connected to the case?
The killer did not seem to be aware of the phasmid's presence, exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia. He fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
This is a very, very sad man who has just... Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk.
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry.
Still.
It's still a point for you.
No. This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez, where...
Understood, of course.
But a case against Everard would be...
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
This has to be good stuff for him to...
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym. The custom... This man's mother.
So...
Thank you, Tron.
Of course, excuse me, I just thought...
He wasn't quite sure about the straggler before he heard this detail. It must have convinced him.
Jealousy.
A strange psychosexual fascination, the result of spending all this time in solitude on the islands of this bay. And also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head. And two...
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way, way more.
Perfect folding mechanism. Get over yourself, Harry. I can still...
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It will pass. In time.
Female?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female. And...
Incredible. Were they...
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a man. Of course, as I said, I'm only guessing. As in cloning itself? What makes you think so? Well...
That makes sense.
Very interesting.
Yes, but also red-colored. Beige and brown, a little green.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species.
This would really help with some of the problem.
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say...
Without it.
You're doing good here. Perhaps quit while you're ahead? Or no?
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Why?
There was a possibility.
Of course. Call it community outreach, right?
I don't want to, but so I have to.
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken.
Now you will finally get to know who you are. The man looks westward, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
No.
Talks concluded.
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to... Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready. Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom. Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in. I'm crazy enough. Can't take... This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a...
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even...
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is...
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to.
I do like the sound of that.
Oh,
He's really considering it.
Us? With the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? With the bat.
That's not true.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Get back to it. We left Torsen and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good. Mac the...
They are damn icon.
Yeah. No, God.
There's also...
He's anything.
Ptolemy Price?
He's one of the most...
Somewhere they speak of change.
Okay.
Jamrock?
The press...
Thank you again, Lieutenant. Who is... Well...
She... They should know.
She is going to be...
It's not a...
You really went with it too. Really maximized the damage.
Yeah. Dora England, I think. Something...
Vasa is where
no one is married anymore. This is Revash. God.
6 years and you haven't...
Yeah. Or 7. You're incredibly bangable. Extra...
Snow, Welkin. Blonde. Heartbreak. Pain. Well,
I've only seen a...
Look. The sun is about to go down.
I think she told in the account. My point is...
In other words...
Who are... Well...
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside.
Harry, some of your...
Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy.
The regular.
You. Every morning.
Yes.
The smell. Kuro.
High school.
His smirks.
I knew it.
Good.
Fuck it. Let's go.
Under the off. You close your eye. Torsen? Yes. McLean? Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back?
Pas comme ça. Let's go, je fais partie de la team. C'est moi ici que je suis blessé là. C'est la fin. Eh ben, bah sacré jeu, un bordel de merde. Waouh, waouh, waouh. Jeu qui m'a pris quoi? Peut-être 25 heures? 25 heures à faire? Bordel, quel banger. Je prends à 9 €. Il y a beaucoup de choses que j'ai pas pu finir. C'est ça que j'ai pas pu récupérer mon arme du coup, parce que j'ai fait la fusillade avant. Du coup, la fusillade était bien timée. Pas pu voir cette personne. René, en soi, j'ai rendu la boule trop tard. Boule de pétanque, j'aurais pu y aller avant techniquement. En fait, il y a plein de trucs que j'aurais pu faire avant en fait, mais juste en fait, faut le savoir. Et puis bah même si du coup il propose la rejouabilité du coup en jouant différentes classes un peu en style RPG on va dire. Je sais pas si on refera. Mais franchement c'est un jeu de fou frère. J'ai rien à dire. Je comprends très bien pourquoi tout le monde le place aussi haut en fait. Je comprends tout à fait ça. Parce que franchement c'est un jeu de zinzin. Enfin, juste l'écriture est trop belle. La qualité de doublage aussi, c'est vraiment une folie. Genre vraiment, tout est beau, tout est bien écrit. Alors oui, du coup c'est un jeu d'enquête et de ça, du coup faut aimer quoi. Sûr que des fois c'est long, des fois il y a beaucoup de blabla, je vais pas mentir. C'est vrai que même moi aussi des fois j'ai un peu accéléré le process. Mais franchement dans l'écriture de l'histoire, franchement propre. Banger vraiment. Bah écoute, je sais pas à quel point du coup t'as suivi ça Mathieu ou pas du coup, parce que j'avoue que moi aussi j'étais pas été non plus le plus, comme je disais du coup c'est passage j'ai un peu sauté on va dire. Mais franchement, enfin rien à dire hein. Qu'est-ce que je te dise hein, vraiment hein. Vraiment y a absolument rien à dire là-dessus hein. Non c'est juste trop bien quoi. Un peu de loin mais j'ai bien capté. Bah franchement si tu m'as capté tant mieux hein. Parce que ouais non franchement c'était quelque chose hein. C'est avec tous les bons petits doubleurs. Tsuna, ouais. Raciste lorry driver, Pierre Mauboucher. Là, je l'ai bien vu, ça a le bon accent français, bien raciste. Zilo, ah oui Thiago du coup c'est ça. Madame de frites, Scab Leader. Le fumeur, ah oui, ça, Noël, la salle, plaisance. Final Cut. Attente la junte. Électronique doorbell. Ah oui, ça, tous les jeux personne en plus là. Kim Kitsuragi, le goth. Arinder qui fait clash. Ah, il a allé, c'est radio, ok. Ouais, ça, les personnes qui ont dû, ouais, ils ont dû redoubler par derrière, du coup c'est ça l'idée, si j'ai bien compris. Mais c'est le truc Final Cut. Non, franchement c'est trop bien. Hein. Bien ce jeu. Parce que, du coup, je sais pas si c'est vraiment le meilleur jeu du coup à faire adapter du coup en stream, pour être honnête. Je sais pas du tout ce que ça vaut vraiment. Mais franchement c'est quelque chose. C'est vraiment une folie. Je sais pas quoi dire, très content. Je comprends pourquoi il a son... Enfin, c'est le jeu du coup le mieux noté de tous les temps sur Metacritics. J'entends les arguments, est-ce qu'après c'est vraiment le mieux noté dans mon cœur? Je sais pas, parce qu'en vrai j'ai trop joué à peu de jeux vidéo de manière générale. En vrai, il faudra que je fasse plein de trucs pour rattraper un peu aussi, mais franchement... le jeu est incroyable. Il n'était pas trop chiant. Bon, juste à la limite, peut-être les 2-3 premières heures, c'était plus difficile. Parce que les 3 premières heures, c'était un peu de balader et un peu visiter, on va dire, c'est que tu ramasses 1 milliard de quêtes en même temps. Tu ramasses des quêtes à droite, à gauche, en veux-tu, en voilà. Ça peut devenir très vite compliqué parce que tu te retrouves avec 25-30 quêtes en parallèle. Après, qui du coup, qui découlent les unes parmi les autres et du coup, bah, petit à petit, tout s'enchaîne. Mais franchement... Franchement, c'est quelque chose. Franchement, là-dessus, au top. Ça, je pense que ça peut juste passer les 2-3 premières heures. Une fois que t'as passé les 3 premières heures, après, c'est banger. Franchement, ouais. Rien à dire dessus. Juste, y'a pas moyen d'accélérer un peu le jeu. Le mec est insupportable. J'essaye, hein, j'essaie de magouiller un petit peu. Non, c'est en fait... Ah, ça, parce qu'après, c'est modifié du coup en toutes les langues. On va avoir beaucoup de crédits, hein. Donne-nous Lopez. Là, du coup, il y a l'espagnol, le portugais, après on va avoir français, après on va avoir Polish là, du coup. Ah ouais, ça vient. Là, me rends compte qu'à la fin, du coup, il y a une suite de quêtes où tu dois travailler avec des cryptozoïdes qui sont là à chercher genre des phasmes, etc. Genre des trucs imaginaires de fou. Tu les aides, tu leur fais croire en mode oui, oui, allez, je vous aide, messieurs, dames, etc. C'est de la merde. T'as la meuf qui se faisait passer pour la reine des cryptozoologues qui t'avoue qu'en fait c'est une mytho depuis le départ. Donc t'es un peu en mode bah, du coup, il y aura pas de suite de quêtes, c'est fini, tu vois. Et là, à la fin, ils ont mis en jeu. Du coup, c'est un phasme du coup de 3-4 mètres de haut. Avec du coup ton pote qui peut le voir aussi. Qui fait que c'est vrai. C'est bien réel tout ça. Non, ça c'est grave. Tellement tour de passe-passe, etc. qui s'enchaînent. Franchement, dessus, c'est vraiment une singerie. Après, il y a une petite histoire avec des jeux de société parce qu'il y avait la meuf de la librairie qui vendait aussi des jeux de société. Mais il y a tellement de... Ouais, c'est ça en fait. C'est pas mal de trucs à côté quand même, hein. J'ai pas récupéré mon arme. Il y avait une histoire du coup d'acheter des livres potentiellement pour lire, pour apprendre un peu plus sur l'histoire. T'avais la meuf qui vendait aussi des jeux de société. T'avais une meuf qui fabriquait des dés pour jouer aux jeux de société. C'est bizarre c'est tout ça, hein. Mais franchement, oh là là. Rien à dire. Bon bah, il faudra juste arriver à trouver du coup un prochain jeu solo, hein. Prochaine aventure solo, prochaine arc solo. Ouais, chez moi ça va de plus en plus vite là. Est-ce qu'il y a des petites cutscenes à la fin, un truc comme ça? Moi je pense pas. Après, s'ils font passer les crédits jusqu'au bout, bon, après peut-être que c'est normal aussi, c'est quand même pour un peu le respect, on va dire, de tous ces artistes. Chinese Chocalization. French, ouais, Jérémy Pavie, Violent Sauce, Julia Steiner, Gessin Presser. Anna, Alex. Est-ce que s'il y a une sorte de cutscene, s'il y a une cutscene, c'est vraiment une folie, un truc comme ça, hein. Pour dire à peu près comment je finis. Après, évidemment, enfin, ce qu'on pourra faire, etc. Bon, après avoir du coup quand on finit crédit, parce que là, bon, ça commence à faire beaucoup. On pourra avoir peut-être. Ah, bah, t'as des logo design, les front license, ouais, ça va être la fin là. Non, quoique, peut-être pas. Ça peut être de voir les success teams aussi. J'ai bien envie de voir à peu près la genre de gueule, les success teams que j'ai pas eu. Qu'est-ce qui reste. Qu'est-ce que j'aurais pu chercher, qu'est-ce que j'aurais dû chercher aussi. Bah, déjà, il y en a un, forcément, ça va être récupérer mon. Ça a dû être de récupérer mon flingue. le logo du jeu. Épisode alien. Mine can be vigilant, we love you. C'est beau ça. Pas de cutscene. Ça sert à quoi ça? Ça sert à rien? Ah bah si, je peux tous les mettre. Celui que j'ai rencontré, ouais ça. Ça, ils avaient des armures de bâtards comme les chiens. Si je fais un tous, ouais. Ça c'est trop mec bourré. Là c'est la bande à Titus. La libraire, les jeunes. Mec dans l'église. Du coup il est en noir et blanc parce que du coup il n'y a pas de sprite. Lui ça me dit rien. Tommy le homme, générateur déco. Étudiant communiste. J'ai jamais vu étudiant communiste. Je crois que je suis rentré dans sa piole. Mais j'ai jamais vu le communiste. Générateur déco. L'image est dégueulasse. C'est grave. Homme avare, pauvre de la consigne, saké sunrise, travailleur ivre. Oh, ça je suis jamais vu, hein. Roufion, docker endormi. J'ai jamais vu cela. Enfin bref. Vas-y, on va quitter. Quittons tout ça, la team. Ah oui, ça, alors du coup. Par curiosité. Tac. C'est ouf, succès. 11 sur 45. Ah ouais, je suis vraiment... voir mes succès. Recruter le lieutenant. Figurine, ça changera rien. Cette réplique de flic super dérangée de des scènes trop politiques cette fois. Présentez vos excuses 10 fois. Dites ces choses très barbantes. Ne flippez pas au flipper. C'est la confiance de Kim. Encensez le libre marché. C'est la théorie critique. Dites 5 répliques de Partie. Dire 10 choses traditionnalistes. Cogner 5 objets inanimés. Ah ouais, non, ça c'est vraiment un truc de psychopathe. À la santé de démocratie sociale. Dites 7 fois que la loi c'est vous. Revêtez l'armure entière. Putain, ça, j'aimerais avoir l'armure entière si j'étais bien débrouillé. Hein. Ah, ça, parce que du coup, j'avais. Ouais, il y a le casque qui repart à la fin. Juste, j'avais le torse. J'ai aucune idée d'où j'aurais pu récupérer le torse. Par les 8 fois de la fin imminente. Ça ne dérangera probablement pas. Embêter Kim après le travail. Oui, ok. Voyez au-delà du voile 6 fois. Mentirez-vous dans le hardcore. Ah, mais c'est hardcore, c'est truc de danse, ok. Le pire des flics. Pas de triper comme jamais avec Kim. Ouais, si je te vraiment bourré la gueule du coup. Parler de machine 4 fois. Rebâtissez une vision du passé. Forcer Kim à révéler ses secrets. Ah ouais! C'est pas un club de lecture. Il faut absolument agir. C'est lui, votre animal totem idéal. Le fric, toujours le fric. Tellement de trucs que je peux faire. Vraie technique, un jeu en mode hardcore. Ouais, je sais pas ce que ça peut être en mode hardcore, c'est quelque chose, hein. Mais le puits d'emmerde, c'est de votre faute. Le brise-glace, porte-pédale, les oreilles c'est offert. C'était qui m'a porté la veste. Ah ouais. Le corps, quel corps? Résoudre l'affaire sans même inspecter le cadavre. Ah ouais. Ils sont révélés qu'une fois suicidé bloqué, ok. Face à inestimable, l'empochoisement à prix d'or. Patiner dans la choucroute. Ouah, mais il y a tellement de trucs que j'ai pas fait. Oh, je suis tellement loin en fait. Je suis en pied. Agent de police junior. Recruter ce détective Kuno de Reuters. Ah ouais, je peux le recruter, détective Kuno? Je savais pas. Moitié homme, moitié clodo. Le plus valeureux des zéros. Ah, ça c'est Tramon, du coup, je devais dormir dans la rue peut-être. Je pense que moi je vais dormir dans la rue. C'est lui votre animal totem. Déphasez-vous pendant 3 secondes. Oh ouais, non, mais ça c'est des trucs de fou ça. La vite en noir et blanc. Ensuite, mangez moins de glucides. Eh ben, Bon la team. Putain, il est minuit passé, putain, tellement cette galère. Merci à vous tous d'avoir été sur le live en tout cas. Ça, forcément là-dessus, un grand merci de votre soutien. C'est la fin de Disco Elysium, la fin de cette aventure. On a bien accompagné, ouais, c'est un temps de jeu 20h au final. Temps de jeu 20h. J'ai un peu speedrun et comme vous pouvez voir, du coup, j'ai même pas un tiers des succès. Donc j'ai beaucoup de trucs que j'ai dû laisser passer. Trop vouloir me concentrer peut-être sur la quête principale. En même temps, du coup, j'ai l'impression d'avoir fait énormément de choses en termes de quête secondaire. Donc je suis pas trop déçu là-dessus. Mais voilà, Disco Elysium, tout simplement. Revachol, on va le quitter, malheureusement. Et puis bah du coup, on se retrouvera une prochaine fois du coup pour une nouvelle aventure. Non, la prochaine aventure sera un jeu un peu plus chill. Plus chill, faut entre guillemets un peu moins réfléchir. Plus détente, on va dire. Donc normalement, ça là-dessus, ça devrait plaire à plus de monde, je pense. Il y aura plus facilement l'interaction avec vous aussi, je serai plus souvent les yeux sur le chat. Mais franchement, là-dessus, ça devrait être grave cool. Bon, allez la team, passez une bonne nuit en tout cas. Et puis bah à la prochaine. Allez, à plus!